begins to cry, and Rabbi Akiva begins to laugh.
Press OK. Brandon, one moment. I have to use the restroom.
How can you laugh? How can you laugh at a time like this? How will that make me laugh? So Rabbi Akiva says, why are you crying? They said to Rabbi Akiva, ultimately, again, the place that says that a non-Kohen comes there will die. In other words, this is the Makom where no one was allowed to enter except the Kohen on Yom Kippur. The Afshat Shulam with the wrong, now the foxes, right? The foxes are walking around, right? The foxes are just walking around everywhere. We will have this desolation. But no, we can't cry. How about the Kachman in Safik? Rabbi Akiva says, this is why I laugh. Let me tell you why. This is one of the most beautiful words. That's it. That either the Eidim Na'amarim, as Uri HaKohen, that's the Chari Ben Yivachiyah. So the Pasuk says like this. Pasuk in Yeshaya. I will bring for you witnesses, Uri the Kohen, and the Navi Zechariah. Now the Gemara says, I understand. The Gemara gives it. If he's not in Uri into Zechariah, Uri and Zechariah are not contemporaries. They were contemporaries. Uri the Mikdash Rishon, Zechariah the Mikdash Sheni. Right, Uri was in the first place on the Mikdash, and Zechariah was the second place on the Mikdash. So why does the Navi Yeshayahu bring them together as witnesses? Ella, Tala HaKasav, they will also show Zechariah, and they will also show Uri. Rather, the Navi goes ahead and literally brings the prophecy of Zechariah, the prophecy of Uri, always the prophecy of Uri. Uri said, Lachim Biglat Sion Sadek Tefresh. Unfortunately, Israel was going to prophesy that Sion, that Yerushalayim will become like a plowed field. Like a plowed field. And what happens in a plowed field? Not only is there destruction, but in a plowed field, ultimately, again, any former trace of what was there is also destroyed. So what happens? So the Gemara says,
All right, Brandon. Can you hear me?
Beautiful, beautiful images. And his images says,
okay, go back and go to Google.
There will come a time of rebuilding, and there will come a time of redemption. For ultimately, again, old men and old women will sit
and go
together on the streets
to
of Yerushalayim.
OBS, install it, the blue button.
Everything was lost. The Navi says, the Navi says, everything will be rebuilt. And people will grow old gracefully and beautifully in Yerushalayim. Rabbi Akiva says like this. Achton is coming to also show Uri, Hayisi Misyare showed this coming to also show Zechariah. So Rabbi Akiva said, I was wondering to myself,
okay,
like,
and install.
those prophecies are like to show working there. So in order to get the Nevuah of Zechariah, of the rebuilding of Yerushalayim, so Yerushalayim first has to become totally desolate. Now I see desolation.
There you go. Download it, and then install it. And while you do that, I'll be right back.
Prophecy of destruction. I now know. Now that I see the fulfillment of the prophecy of destruction, the Yadua, she will do also Shazachariah and Miskayadis. I know that in the Nevuah. And look at the Nevuah, Zechariah is going to come true as well. Now that I've seen destruction, now that I've seen literally again the fox running out of the Kodesh HaGadashim, I know with all of my heart that prophecy for rebuilding will come true as well. Everyone said once again, God was saying Rabbi Akiva. Akiva wasn't realizing, there's a concept in psychology called toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is where someone is, I'm having a difficult time. I share with someone, I'm really having a difficult time in life, and they say, don't worry, it's going to be okay. But generally, if you're on the receiving end of that, what do you say? What do you don't usually say? What do you say? The loose translation is shut up. Right? Stop it. I know it's going to be okay. That's not what I need right now. The person means, well, toxic positivity is like, always have sometimes like, I need to mourn and I need validation of what it is that I know it'll be okay. Of course it'll be okay. That's not Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva is a Rabbi Akiva is this profound and deep, Davidic like anticipatory simcha. Things are so bleak, but I also know that because things are so bleak in the future, they're going to turn around. And I can reach into that future, grab some of that simcha, and bring it back to the here and now. You can do that. And if you can reach into your future and bring back some of that future simcha to a dark and bleak present, that's the only way you get through it. Because the only other alternative is to lose yourself in the suffering, is to lose yourself in the sadness, is to lose yourself in the darkness. Rabbi Akiva teaches us ultimately how to reach into the future, which is going to be beautiful and bright. Take hold of some of that brightness, bring it back into a dark present. The Lashon Hazeh Amilo, and they said to him, Akiva Nekantanu, Akiva Nekantanu. Rabbi Akiva, you have consoled us, Rabbi Akiva, you have consoled us. And I will say, those words are not just simply true for that particular episode. I will say, these words are Rabbi Akiva. That this mindset, this approach, this knowledge has been a source of consolation for Klal Yisrael throughout the ages. What gets us through the harshest periods of darkness is the ability to be like Rabbi Akiva, to reach into a future that we know is going to be beautiful and bright, grab some of that brightness, grab some of that light, and bring it back with us here to illuminate a difficult present. Akiva Nechantanu, Akiva Nechantanu. Rabbi Akiva always come through for us, and he always does come through for us. We'll say, Hadron Allah, Chayler Alokim, Ustikul Amsek, is not this outside, Shkoyach and Master. Alright, clever on Zoom. Have a great everyone, Mazel Tov, coming out of Israel, an acute Shabbos, just we welcome that Zoom, we celebrate all of our future acceptance today, we shall have in the year. Tosis? It's not tosis, it's one of the other body tosis that changed over every year. All right, Joe, say good morning, let us begin. We begin by thanking all of our sponsors for this one. Should thank our annual common program sponsor, Tulsi Mishpacha Eretz Yisrael, for dedicating all the Shurim and Drushos this year. As you say, this for the Solar Thovos for all around Israel. Common program sponsors for the month of Iyar Habayim Lekova, Shmuel Rabbi Karakim, Shmuel B'Yotek, and Shmuel's father. Mr. Leonard Karakim, Yutma Ben Yepreska, Kohen, and Tikkun Rebecca, in America by Commodore, all of the Hashem Sabi Aliyah, the families in the Kama. I will say, of course, we dedicate our learning today in this chos to be able to celebrate Yom HaTzmaut. However one chooses to mark on this particular day. Speaking about this every year, although there's so much controversy over what to say, how to say it, halal, no halal, what the bracha is, out of bracha. It's important to always remember those are details. Important details. But details. The ikr detail is for us to go ahead and have shavach and hodah. For us to have tremendous gratitude, tremendous sense of gratitude to our Kodesh Baruch Hu for what He has given us. That we are zochah to live in times in which we have access to Eretz Yisrael, in which in Eretz Hashem it's not just the famous words of Harabayis Biyadinu that were uttered on Yom Yerushalayim. It's not just me Harabayis Biyadinu. It's Eretz Yisrael Biyadinu. But ultimately, we have Eretz Yisrael. It's an explanation in the shir for Beyonce yesterday. There's no one standing at the airport telling you which shoes can come in, which shoes can't come in. There's no one standing at the port. Like with quotas, a number of people who come in, we forget this because we've taken for granted a little bit of a miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us with the founding of the state. Is the state perfect? Far from it. Is there work to do? Absolutely. But in life, just because something is not perfect doesn't mean that it's not absolutely magnificent. So it may not be perfect. What happens, you go to Eretz Yisrael, you walk into the airport, and you find that larger than life mezuzah that's waiting for you. I think we have the second largest mezuzah, the Translator. Right? You find that larger than life mezuzah waiting for you. Shafilano, Mikrimano, Vigiano, Lazman Azah. That we have this schus. Walk in and be able to put your hand on that mezuzah as you enter into the sacred border of Eretz Yisrael. It's a great response. When Mashiach comes, Gula will come, the Beis Hamikdash will come, that'll be even better. But just because it's not exactly as it should be, doesn't have to mean for a moment that it's not absolutely magnificent. You know, my grandfather's from the Bracha was a survivor of the war. Whenever anyone would say something critical of the government of Israel, or something about Eretz Yisrael itself, he would always go ahead and silence it. He would always shut down the conversation. And just to understand, it wasn't, my grandfather wasn't wearing blue and white with Yom Ha'atzmaut and engaging in Dayalut and all that. It wasn't. As a survivor, he understood what it meant not to have a Jewish homeland, but not have access to a Jewish homeland, and then what it meant to live in a world with access to a Jewish homeland. His shita in life always was, whatever your problem is, figure it out and be quiet. But don't run around talking about negative things or difficulties or problems with our beautiful homeland. Because whatever the problems may be, they pale in comparison to the ridiculous gift that we have. Okay, so here we say how to some Clever will say it, won't say it. Again, it's a detail. It's a detail, an important detail, but a detail. The ikar is that on this day, you must find your way to express your profound gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the miracle that He has given us. The idea, we're building Baruch Hashem, we're in our shul. We're building a satellite community in Yerushalayim, in Kasanoni. Who would have thought? Who would have ever thought? And I'll tell you this, the grandchild of survivors, having a hand in helping to build a new community, that's who would have thought. Less than 100 years after our ancestors were put into gas chambers and ovens and systematically annihilated. The Baruch Hashem, even at the time where we could contemplate a satellite community, where we could contemplate just purchasing a ticket and going, where we send our children to learn, we go to learn, we go to vacation, we go to spend Yom Tov. If you don't see the miracle in that, you need a new prescription. Because you're missing it. Because you just miss it. Again, how you choose to mark the miracle, that's up to you. How you choose to. That we can contemplate, that we live in a time to contemplate Aliyah, whether you're making Aliyah or not making Aliyah. Just understand, you can think about that decision. For 2,000 years, the Jew said, I'm going to live to Eretz Yisrael. He said, really? You want to live with the Ottomans, you want to live with the Turks, you want to live with the British, you want to live with this, you want to live with that. Now, it's a decision. Whether it's good for you or not good for you, that's your own decision. But you can think about it. Understand the miraculous nature of being able to contemplate that decision. Something that for 2,000 years our ancestors did not have. But we do. If you can't see the miraculous nature in that, once again, you need a prescription. It's not just the footsteps of Mashiach. Like footsteps, people like that are footsteps. If you listen carefully, you can hear like the pitter patter and Mashiach's feet coming closer. It's not a pitter patter. It's pounding. Mashiach is around the corner. Gula is around the corner. What He's unfolding in front of us each and every day is nothing less than a great, spectacular miracle. The miracle is not complete, and there's no question that many things are still in a state of imperfection. But we are so much closer than ever. So let's take one last one from this day. We celebrate the founding of the modern-day state of Israel, which for many of us is absolutely unequivocally not a start of the Gula, not the beginning of Gula. Gula began the moment that the Beis Hamikdash was set ablaze, but an important step in the continuity of the progression of Gula. We happen for one thing.
Brandon, are you there? Okay.
Our soldiers should stop having to give their lives for Israel, for Eretz Yisrael.
Alrighty.
Fathers,
You ready?
husbands. The Gula started many years ago. The founding of the state was an important step that propelled us.
Did it install?
See, the continuity of the Gula
Okay, open it.
Yerushalayim Hadaniya, with Am Yisrael together, with Eretz Yisrael rebuilt, with Eretz Yisrael unified.
Open OBS.
So today's daf is Chaf Gimel, 23. We are picking up in Eretz Hashem on Chaf Gimel.
Okay, now click the button on the right.
We are picking up the two dots.
No, the right. The one that says stats.
Last short form, sorry, thank you. So the Mishnah says as follows.
Just click it on the right.
The Mishnah had a very interesting case. Let's say again they assess that Ruben is capable of getting 39 marks, for argument's sake. Right? And then what happens? They start with
Click it again.
And then you know what, you really can't do for 39. So what's the halacha? We stop.
Click OBS.
And that's the end of it. There's nothing more that happens. And once again, as opposed to what? As opposed to saying, okay, let's take a break, right, and plug in the rest later on. You don't say that. So
Okay, when you click OBS, do you see the two boxes open right there? Okay. I want you to click on the box on the right.
So in that case over here, you would go ahead and
And left click on the box on the right. Left click on the box on the right.
I'm doing a cover that one because I'm doing a cover that one. If let's say again, basically assess the use capability of 39 markers.
What is it? Okay, what is you right click? I want you to left click on the box on the right.
This country doesn't get anything. So he writes, I'm doing the cover Shmona Esrei. The Chayiv Agdusha for the cover Arba. Let's say that he can't assess them for 18.
You left click again.
These numbers are not random.
Open it up to the 12 boxes. Okay. Move your mouse to the right.
So again, that's why we're just using large numbers, small numbers.
To the right. No. To the right. There's two boxes there. Keep going to the right, to the second box. Okay, now left click there. Just left click. One click. That's a right click. No, you want to left click it. I think you're left clicking it. I think you're right clicking it. Open it up so both boxes. Open it up so both boxes are there. Yeah. Now. Okay, try clicking the box on the left. Left click the box on the left.
In other words, because things can't change that quickly on one day.
I think you're right clicking. I think you're right clicking because a right click makes a box pull up. A left click is a select. Just click it. Okay. We're gonna try one more thing. Press Windows B.
Let's say they made an assessment on Thursday, right? 39. And then on Friday.
Okay. What does that say?
You can only go ahead and withstand 18.
Okay. Press Windows B.
As correct. Why? Because things could change in a more dramatic way.
And then there's an arrow points out.
That's how the is reconciling these two ideas.
Okay. And then you see the OBS icon? Just double click on it. Don't right click. Just double click on it. Just click on the OBS icon. Just click on the OBS icon in that tray. Okay, nothing's happening.
So what's this? So again, it's interesting, right? So if the second assessment is on the same day as the first, then we look at the first assessment as mistaken.
Uninstall OBS.
Just points out it's not possible that things changed that materially within one day. Right? Not possible that eventually a guy could take 39 markers, so a guy could take 18 markers in one day. So it wasn't like the first one is mistaken, and therefore we go to the second one. On the other hand, if you look at the next one, again, there's more here, but just giving you the point. The Bryce said, I'm doing the knockout of the Omofra. Liam Akanda, who does that on a drummer, Shayafa, I know, Shayako Zera Kappa, as also young Kafka Knuckles, and then the Shkana.
Did you uninstall it?
Yeah, I'm doing the iPod.
It's completely uninstalled. Okay. Go to add remove programs.
Second case, I'm sorry, yes, it's actually right. So in the second case where they gave me the assessment, let's say for 31 on Friday, on Thursday, and then gave me the second one on 18 on Friday. In that case, let me correct myself. In that case, halacha myself, the first assessment stands. Now the reason why the first, I'll tell you that we just remembered. The first assessment.
Okay, are you at add remove programs?
You don't view the first assessment as being wrong.
Okay.
Why? Because things could change.
Now type in OBS.
On Friday, you can only go ahead
In the search.
do the 18. So the first assessment stands.
Do you see it?
So we're giving 39.
Excellent.
39.
Excellent. Okay. Now go to Google.
That's what it actually says over here. And therefore, Potter, in that case, interesting.
Actually, go to Microsoft Store. Microsoft Store.
Because he was only.
There you go. Type in OBS.
We haven't touched on this fully, but we'll get to it shortly.
And now press install.
What Malchus accomplishes is degradation. And the kapara itself of Malchus comes through the degradation.
What's it say?
When he got an assessment for 39, right, and then the next day got an assessment for 18, that person
Let me,
said that 39 is correct assessment. Okay, so
let me see. When I try to install OBS Studio from the Microsoft Store, it says something wrong.
He's putter from all Malchus. So let's say fascinating idea. So let me just zoom out a little bit. So essentially what's happening over here is as follows. What happens when Basin initially gives one assessment of Malchus and then revises their assessment? The Gemara suggests that it's two cases. If the revision takes place on the same day as the original assessment, then let's say the original assessment was flawed, therefore scratch it, and therefore only go with the second assessment. When the second assessment happens on a different day than the first, and we assume they're both correct. Right? Assessment number 1 is correct, assessment number 2 is correct, and then what Rashi's pointing out over here is, in that case, interestingly enough, of the putter, because we assume that again the degradation occurred just simply through the higher Malchus allocation of day 1. Fascinating. And also there's one important caveat to this. What's the important caveat? If at any point in time Malchus started being administered, and then in the middle of Malchus, Basin says, okay, we made a mistake, you can't take 39.
Okay,
What's the
press the Windows key.
We do not make you recover and then give you the rest of his Malchus.
And type in store, S-T-O-R-E.
Is where Malchus has not yet begun to be administered. Okay, good. There happens to be.
And then click the Microsoft Store.
Is a little bit different than how the Gemara is highlighting it, but if we have time, we'll come back to it. That's the.
See it? Click it.
So what's that like? So the Gemara says,
Click it.
Here's the issue. A person who is descendant and now they are liable. Rashi says over here,
are you clicking it?
I'm plowing with an ox and a donkey, and I'm also plowing Kilaya.
Okay, is this the Microsoft Store?
I'm sorry. And I'm also planting Kilaya.
Okay, type in OBS.
So now I'm liable to 2 sets of Malchus. So that's not a half. So I'm doing over that. But look about that. So halacha myself.
Okay, press install.
And basically assess me 1 set of Malchus. If that's what they did, if they kind of judge this case as 111.
What's it say?
I think that's it. Again, that's not a lot. It's not about
Brandon, this is different kind of software. It's free software. It's open source software, which is usually means it can have some bugs. And I think we're experiencing some now. And I see other people online are having issues. We're gonna try one more thing.
The legal system should drive me.
Um,
You can't do one assessment or one verdict for 211
Are you on Windows 11?
This is very interesting. Let's say one case is talking
You're
about
on Windows 11, yes?
They judge me liable to 41
Okay.
lashes versus 42 lashes. So let's say what's the cover? 42 is 39 plus 3. 3 is the minimum amount of lashes that you can use for something, right? Because again, it's divisible by 3. It's the minimum amount of lashes. So basically, if I get
Let me just see if anybody else is having this issue.
3 essentially counts for
One other person was.
second set of markers, and that's it.
Let me.
Don't see it as local.
What'd you say?
41 is really just viewed as one set of
Somebody else getting on Reddit. Okay.
To an entire second set of markers. So I heal from my first set of markers, and then ultimately afterwards be liable to a second set.
All right, go type into Google previous versions of OBS. And there's that soft, it was like soft tonic. Go back to soft tonic.
It's 42. Reviewed ultimately again as 39. Second 3, I think that they're satisfied with second one.
Okay. Do you see the list of previous versions? Okay. Just one moment.
Just depending on how the basin adjudicates it, if the basin doesn't want to hold the book at me, they can make me liable for 42 markers. And the beauty of that
All right.
And 3, that satisfies both liable.
Does it have a date release?
Because then essentially that's 39. He'll get a whole second set of 39.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Do you see 31.00?
How do we give the guy notice? What's the process?
Click that one. 31.00. And let that download.
Right, so he's tied to his hands are tied to the pedal, one hand on each side. The Chatrach says, okay, it's good about that. In Mikru, let's say, by the way, just before we go on, I meant to mention, and the Gemara's distinction before, because it's a tremendous Mr. Haskell. The Gemara's distinction before, remember again about the things that gives multiple assessments.
Did it download?
Basically, they give 2 assessments on the same day. What was the First assessment is fraud, second assessment is correct. 2 assessments on 2 different days. First assessment is still correct, second assessment is also correct.
It said it already downloaded.
Why? What was the logic? Logic was
there you go. Okay, install it.
In one day, but day-to-day do change. So we'll say it's such a profound result for us in life. Things can change on a dime. And at times, they do change very quickly. Generally, it's not the way things happen. Whether it's change that we want in ourselves, or whether it's change that we want out of life. Change absolutely could be effective. The issue just is, you have to be patient. You know, I can say, what is it, the hands that says patience is a virtue? The hands. But you know, good things come to those who wait.
Okay, it's downloaded.
So by the way, it's not just true.
And what does that say?
It might be true in life also. You know, the Gemara's telling us is
okay,
that
press OK, uninstall.
Change can happen one day to the next. And this is so incredibly important because sometimes if we want to accomplish great things, and we want it now. And I'm so patient, and when it doesn't materialize now, we give up. Because I'm teaching us, although dramatic change could occur in one day, generally, it doesn't happen that way. Change takes time. In yourself, in your life, in your home, with your family, in your career, whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to affect
we're gonna wait a week on this, and hopefully it gets okay. I mean, you can try to install it, but hopefully it gets. We're gonna give it a week to maybe see if they put out an update, because something is wrong with that version of the software, and I'm not sure what it is,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure you don't know what it is. So we just have to be patient.
So it's almost virtually the same exact question myself. Actually, that last debug, right, until he uncovers the heart
Okay.
of the flaggy. So the word says,
All right, so you can go back and we'll try it in a week or so, okay?
The guy is getting Malchus. The Kazakh princess only love. And again, the Kazakh princess in this context is
We'll try it in a week, okay?
He stands on the platform behind the flaggy. We're just following him. Behind
What'd you say?
Right?
What am I what?
The whip itself is made out of calf hide.
Oh, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Calf hide, and the strap is folded into two and then folded into four. All those yard goes by, and there are traditional straps of donkey hide that go up and down.
Okay, you got it. Now you can install it. All right, try it. You might have to close Discord again.
When it gets to his stomach. Now, listen, there's an interesting machlokas about how a person gets whipped. In other words, does a person get whipped along the length of their back or across the width? So, in other words, essentially, is the whipper, is he standing behind Ruben and whipping him like this, or Ruben standing right in front of him and the whip goes on his back and the top of the whip goes down like this? Or no, he's standing a little bit to the side of Ruben, flogging him like from the sideways, so it goes across the width of his back with the straps coming around this way. Rashi understands the latter. It's the latter. And Ruben gets whipped along the width of his back. So therefore, again, the Kazakh Knesset stands a little bit to the side, and he doesn't whip like this. He whips like this. He whips like this, so that therefore, the more saying like this, the top of the foot has to be able to wrap around Ruben to come to the beginning of his stomach, to the side. Okay. So the Gemara goes right there. So the Gemara says, you get 1/3 of the lashes on the front of your body, 2/3 on the side, 2/3 on the back of your body. So the only and again, the flaggy Ruvain is not standing, is not sitting, but rather again, he's hunched over when receiving the milk. The Chazak Princess is immersed in the Malchus. He brings down the whip with one hand, not one of his knife. Let's say this is interesting, right? This is not a ceremonial flogging. This is this is flogging, right? It says Malchus. It says the obligation is what to do with all of his might. That's not goes so what's interesting enough is this whole recitation, right? All these psukim are being mentioned along the way as well. And how that's the end? The ends ultimately again with the pasuk, and he was compassionate, ultimately again will atone for your sin. It looks like a very profound way to close out the month. This also recognizing that the goal of this punishment, of course, is what? Is restorative, is rejuvenative, that is the mechapers to atone.
What happened when you tried to install it?
See, depending on the number of malchus you get, depends on the number of times you have to recite these procedures. Okay, the scalpel, thing to write them in.
Did you hear me?
Looks like that the person getting malchus.
What happened when you tried to install it?
You can imagine what happened over here. Either because of just like light of the malchus, or ultimately again maybe anticipation of the malchus. And so what's the halacha?
What happened to it?
Sorry, but we may stand. We may stop us at the pattern. But let's say during the Chazak Knesset is flogging the
I just see Discord right now.
Putter. Right here, what's that? Putter because he's administering the ruling of the Beis Din. Hositla Olgusu Achasumis, how does it go to Aliyah? Now, interestingly enough, when is he exempt? Only if he gave the prescription.
All I see is Discord right now.
If he decided to, everybody likes hummus, right? If he decided, especially with other people, right? So if he decides to go and give an additional lash over
I still see Discord.
Then halacha might say again, that's called accidental murder, and the Chazak Knesset will go to Golis as a result of this.
Okay.
So let's say again,
what does that say?
Again, whether application or through urination. And again, I want to say, whether we're going to discuss if it's because of like impending fear of what is going to occur, or because the Marcus itself will discuss both of those cases.
What does that say?
Potter. So I'm going to give you this potter from any further.
What does that say?
Deviation. Everyone said, well, what's the logic? I'm sorry, any further Marcus.
Can you repeat that?
They said, the Nikla, Hari Nikla. Because what's the matter again? What's the point over here of Marcus?
Who's using Chrome? Oh, close that. I don't know. You don't need Chrome. Not right now.
Marcus is supposed to be humiliating. So if the guy serves himself,
Close Google. Close that. Minimize that.
Right? So just do that.
Minimize everything.
So just just understand. Marcus is a public thing. Marcus is a public thing.
Minimize everything. Close that Chrome thing.
Do not, because if you're the guy, so
Okay, now open up OBS.
Right, that's probably when you're looking for that child is right. I don't think you're getting master yoga. I'm just saying, like that's just a mistake.
Just run normally. Actually, run in safe mode. You can. That's okay. Open it again. And just press run in safe mode.
Just make that happen. Right now, and just go home and be happy. I can also say, just understanding the public nature of everything, it would be quite the degree. Okay, so it's like tap of calculus. Let's go. Says the Gemara. Sorry, I keep on skipping. Let me read the Omer. Sorry, let me read this. Let me read this. Let me read the Omer. Ha'isha berei va'isha sorry, Ha'ish berei va'isha. Let me read this as no. It depends on how you saw yourself. A man, if he saws himself with defecation, that's degrading enough that degradation has been accomplished, done. And Isha, a woman who's obviously is covered, is a little bit more sensitive, even if she saws herself from urination, ultimately, again, can contact from any further on. It's not like fucking 20 days.
Just one moment.
So let's say, here's this interesting. No one knows what to do with this line when you go out. No one, it's my time. My time a lot. You might see me shouldn't neglect. Okay? I don't know if she just. We should know that we neither to Shisha. How do we know that the wig is made out of calf skin? So it says the sit on in Yakenu. The pasuk says you get 40 notice. The son of Saxon Shabbat and juxtaposed to that is told Muslim ox when it crashes. Okay, so the juxtaposition says it's in calf skin.
Okay.
So how do we know that the
Try to open OBS.
Let's say shimmy is covered head to toe in boils.
Okay, so you have three of them open. Just click one of them.
Go ahead and how do we know that we don't compel Rachel? So where it says the sit, no Saxon, sharp, the Disha, or Samakale.
Yeah, I don't know on this one. Brandon, I'm going to look to see if OBS is having any recent issues, any other recent issues. But we may need to wait on a
that anyone who goes ahead and degrades the Marvin, literally disparages the other
an update.
If you're worshiping idolatry. It's say Elohim Aseda, no Sasa. The first one, and the passage says, do not make for yourself graven images. The son of Leah is Kagamatzos Tishma. So the juxtaposition between Yom Tov and Avodah Zarah, if you disparage the Amin Tobin, ultimately, if you worship Avodah Zarah, I'm sure she's Mishal Zaria. Versus is incredible. Not beautiful, but incredible. Anyone who speaks Lashon Hara or accepts this is Lashon Hara, or anyone who gives false testimony, wow. Should be thrown to the dogs. They said, Ashlifen also. It says by a trademark and was killed by other predatory animal. You can't eat it, so you run it to the dogs. And right afterwards, it says the son of Mary, Mosisa Shema Shai, which literally, again, we normally assume means that don't go ahead and think the name of God in vain. Kali Deinami no Sasi. Do not cause negative things to be accepted. So
uninstall OBS.
Everyone said, think to yourself, this sounds like a very strong statement. I get it. I got Lashon Hara is bad, right? We all know Lashon Hara is bad. But this isn't if I speak Lashon Hara or if I accept Lashon Hara, I don't think I should be thrown to the dogs. It's like, I don't know, it just sounds really intense. So it's like, hard to say like this. The possible like character she's going to be a trade for, right? It just the carcass. Lashon Hara represents the abuse of the greatest gift we have. Right? The thing that makes us human is the power of speech. The power of speech. Like Vayibach, okay, rather than Pasuk says I should come deep into us, right? Vayibach Papa, when the Kishmak will breathe life into us, until it says Ruach Menanimah, it means speech. It means speech. Speech is what makes us a Salaman King. Speech is what gives us life. If a person abuses the power of speech, essentially, I'm just a carcass. The carcass. Okay, referring it to the gods is not a punishment. It's descriptive.
Brandon, have you ever run Discord at the same time as
essentially it's an avail.
OBS?
What do you do with an avail? That cannot catch the for us.
Okay, that might be the issue, or an issue. So what you can do is reinstall OBS and then close Discord completely and see if it works. There might be some kind of conflict between Discord and OBS if you've never been able to, if you've never used them at the same time. Just install OBS.
Remember again, the Navi over here is describing what Yeshua is describing how
you wanted to put game score. You wanted to put scoreboards on, yeah.
The rest of the pasuk is Israel lo yada amilo hispona. Right, but ultimately again, so when the pasuk says the Navi knows that Kalisha doesn't know, right? The donkey knows whose truck he eats out of. The donkey knows who his master is. But somehow, Kalisha, the Jewish people, we always forget that we're absorbing into our Kodesh Baruch Hu. So the Gemara says, Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Yama Mishenaki Avos Babo, Yifan Misheina Maki Avos Babo. So literally, let the one who recognizes the truck of his master, the donkey, come along and go ahead and exact punishment from the one who has forgotten whose truck he eats from. Which I must say, if you think about it, is really profound. That what is sin? Sin is a lapse of God awareness. Right? Sin is a lapse of God awareness. If I had God awareness, I had everything. But the moment I use God awareness is unfortunately when every negative thing becomes possible as well. So let the donkey that at least appreciates, which itself is an agricultural animal, but itself understands who its master is, come an exact punishment from the one who forgot who his master is, and as such is in this situation. The other kabach, so again, the hand of the kabach, so it sounds like over here is basically must have made like a custom whip, right? Because remember again, the whip has to be long enough to go around your side and come to the front of the stomach. So obviously every person has different proportions. So everybody must have had a custom whip. So the Gemara says, I don't know, maybe get to take it home. Well, if that's the case, then David's going to have a lot of work. So that's what it says. Remember, I was like, it was an adjustable whip. Like an adjustable whip that had like a ring. And the ring, really what the ring was there was to go ahead and either shorten or lengthen the straps themselves. Okay? The mother goes back to Mark, so we know how to use it. So it says, so remember, we get 1/3 of the markers on the back, 2/3 on, sorry, 1/3 on the front, 2/3 on the back. Where do we get that from? That's I'm not kind of going to the Hebrew shopping to be called the front of Kidei Risha so in the spot. Risha Achas in the front, so we actually have one Risha on the front, which is 1/3 on the front, Shtei Rishas will have 2/3 on the back. In Malkino, some of you can tell us, how do we know that the strap itself is doubled over? So the Gemara says, Shnei might be Kilo. As the pasuk says, literally the Kilo means we'll bend it over. What is that? Fine by the buffet. We need to get Kilo for something else. What are we using a Kilo in the Mishnah for? when the minister in Malchus, Reuben is not standing straight, but rather again, he's hunched over. So that's going to be beautiful. Interesting where it says, Inki Niktokra Yahu. The pasuk could have said, again, they repented. Might the Kibuwa. I use that Russian Shmamina puzzle. Learn two things from it. Number one, that Reuben, when he gets the Malchus, is bent over. And number two, the strap itself is doubled over. The Havake Maki Biyad. So remember, your minister lashes is done with one hand. So remember again, the idea about it, just to understand with one hand, what's the what? Let's see. So what's very interesting. Ima Amibun Chazon and Ela Chasir Torah, the Sirei Mada. So let's say, who are the floggers? The floggers are people, by the way, who are generally very smart and very weak. Very smart and very weak, right? I want very smart so that they know how to do the Malchus, and very weak, right? Why? Because this has a past hurt, right? It just has to be Malchus. And even he says no. I feel it's a sinner, not to be sinner. It is a natural. Even those who are not very smart, but are very strong, we also use it for Malchus. I'm going to call it a stab. If we don't do this correct, we say, because the pasuk says, no Yosef and Yosef. Now it's interesting what I say. The Torah has to go out of its way to say, do not add on any additional Malchus. Whatever the basically says, don't add on any more. Now, if you want to say this, so if you that means that the chazan could even be someone who doesn't have das, then it makes sense that the Torah has to go out of its way to warn him and say, don't give any additional malchus. But again, if the smart people are doing this, do smart people have to be warned after again? If the chazan is smart, I found that Reuben gets 18, he's only going to give 18. But so therefore, again, if you says the fact that there's a warning indicates to us that you don't have to use the smartest guy to win. Right? But rather, you can use anyone. If you want to say the Rabbanon is fascinating. Aiden Mizazin, everyone Mizazin. Remember that. It only makes sense to warn people who are careful. As we'll say, warnings only have an impact on people in general who are diligent. And just say it's such a fascinating idea. Reckless people generally don't listen to warnings. Right? Who listens to warnings? Careful, diligent, or vigilant people are the ones listening. So again, when the part of the says that's Yosef, who's he talking to? Somebody to see the guys. Somebody's listening. Okay, so if I'm listening again, this is why we are putting companies. You can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. This is in general in life, right? You can't help someone become better if they're not interested in what it is that you have to say. Because hadracha, in general, hadracha, we'll call it, what do you want to call it, counsel, or advice, or warnings, only work for people who are interested in it. Only work for people who are open-minded to that. But if someone's closed off, you can talk, you could be espousing the greatest wisdom in the world, and make absolutely no difference, which is why in life, one of the most important midos, is like when Chazal say, Easy Chacham, Avon made you call who is right, where is it from every person? What does that mean? What does that mean? What that means is to be the kind of person who is receptive. And most of us are not really receptive. I don't want feedback. I don't want constructive feedback, deconstructive feedback, nice feedback, caustic feedback. I don't want even compliments. Right? Look stupid that. What is that? Because most of us are closed off. But I don't want to hear anything. One of the most important leaders in life is to be open. Because if I'm open to things and I can hear the warnings and I can hear the advice, there's so much different in life. Incredible. So much time to shoot my fear, my being Shayada. Okay, shoot my team, I could be at the Abbas. When the river goes in and the Hazmat Nesses raises the he raises the lip with two hands, and when he brings it down, he brings it down with one hand. Because obviously when you look with one hand, that's much stronger than doing it with two. Okay, incredible. Please, I'm going to go through the other parts. Here's the process. The greatest of the day are in there. The base keeps down. She already called. The third guy, he says strike. Now, so what's this interesting? Hazmat Nesses, he's the one who's going ahead and doing the flogging. He's not part of the base, right? He's an additional guy. That's an additional hire, right? So greatest of the guy on him, He's saying a psukim, second dayan is counting, third dayan is saying strike. He's mentioned that, yeah.
What up, Zoo? What up, big dog?
When the alien files get released this year, my prediction is that there's going to be a large portion of it about the humanity being fake. And people they're going to reject shit because they don't want people to know that when they're next fake, people will be like, oh, this is fake. That's the alien files.
Okay. Are you ready to lose?
Yeah. So why the need to measure the recitation portion of the office?
Are you excited?
No.
Why not?
Since I know everything that I really need to know about that.
Yeah. What do you know?
Like I've been studying that for like 20 years. Maybe a few things, but nothing too major. And I don't even know if they'll release it. They say that they will. They've been saying this for 7 years.
All I know is that I can't go ahead and do I don't know that I can't deal with it.
What up, Zoo?
So you might have put my grab and he's like,
Okay. What happened?
You can't add on
Okay. Restarting.
Okay, that's fine.
Just restart it. I understand.
What does that mean? That when you fly, you fly with all of your might. Right? When whipping is being administered, not being administered, Kazakh does that with all of his might. This calco. So
whatever reason, it's constraining being regulated today.
So under those circumstances, what happens?
Okay, those things happen. Dude, didn't you get a new phone like 6 months ago?
It's enough of a degradation. That's
expensive phone.
For the mark was unnecessary. And that's for another reason. He says, no,
All right. Well, I mean, I've had an iPhone for 6 years.
If you saw yourself as a result,
sometimes
that's the degradation.
Androids are dog. Androids are dog shit. Yeah, that's not. Dude, you gotta get yourself. Have you ever had an iPhone? Okay. Why don't you have an iPhone? What are you talking about, dude?
Let's say
I'm in agreement with you on both of those things. But if you charge it, if you do the wireless charging, it works amazingly well. And if you protect if you use a screen protector, they're the best phones you can get.
Is the degradation. So essentially, degradation has been accomplished. So if somehow he manages to escape, he doesn't get noticed. So they say, where is the Pasha? Kava being Rishon, being the Shnia Pochino. So if Ruben soils himself, like that's Kava's like manipulate. Soils himself, whether it's as a result of the first lash, second lash, he's caught ready for the notice. Nifsikon Tsura Shnia Pochino. So Rishon and Pochino. So this is interesting. That's the about being knocked. It doesn't mean it's under breaks. So if the whip breaks after the first lash, he's done. He's done. If the whip breaks before the first lash, he's not done. Then we just get new whip. So you know, but why is that? You know, you'll have the Qurans. But again, if the whip breaks before the first lash, why shouldn't that be any different than a guy who runs away from Daisy? It's just like if a guy runs away from Daisy, now Baruch Hashem is cut for everything else. Why is it the other? If the whip breaking before the first lash, ultimately again is like running away. There's a big distinction.
Something new,
Run away. Here he didn't run away. Once I said, no, understands already.
No, because I didn't know you were ready. Are you ready?
You're talking and running out of basement. That's embarrassing. There's an embarrassment in that. Because the embarrassment incredible. I'm doing with the Shiyuka Kala poetry also. So this is interesting. Let's say Basil says special. Moving is crazy. He will soil himself the moment that he is.
What's annoying about that?
Right? The halakha is ultimately again.
It was okay.
But the Shiitsim is these basins is going to soil himself. Not as a result of the office, then we still flock in that case. If the soiling
It gives me a better angle.
It is just soiling himself. I don't know, mirrors or whatever else. Hold your mouth is just even based in, they're still flogging. Although,
No.
Furthermore, again, it's interesting. The Gemara says, well, that, but even Halakha say he saw himself, was still flogging, right? Why? Because so in other words, the idea over here is the only time that soiling exempts is that it's a result of
Zoot, you're coming real close for Jimmy not playing.
that doesn't exempt him from getting Marcus out.
Zoot, I don't care. I know that you have an issue, and I've many times asked you to get it taken care of, and you still don't. And Zoot. That's fine. I don't need to hear about it. My stream doesn't need to hear about it. You can keep your mouth closed when these kind of things happen. Yeah. Are you serious? You're gonna hit my ball? Oh yeah, for sure, dog. Too bad you stink. Too bad you stink. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The status of the brother, and therefore halacha l'maisa again, he is restrained, therefore he's forbidden. It was very dramatic. This is Rabbi Hanan.
You want to play off these
Quit that.
You know you have a statement.
Okay, that's party song.
So if I put it towards the head and does a mitzvah,
We're done.
you lose your life, then how much a mitzvah could restore your life? What a beautiful word.
You think that's trying to
It's a little
that ultimately, again, whoever engages in these abominations that we're talking about, they will suffer curse. But the Bible says, I'm the base.
What up, Zoot?
So we'll say, so listen to this.
How did you miss that shot?
Not indirect.
Yeah, I played as a test. I thought it was
Okay.
And then it says, if you keep my halachas ultimately.
You're not letting that stop. They must have I don't know how they do it.
It says like this. If you abstain, really, you get schar as if you performed a mitzvah. So what it is profoundly dramatic. So the highest right now is the location that we have in life is abstaining. Again, we go like just
Yo, dog.
but we don't know this. And I think it's hard to do something.
What's your rank on that?
3,000.
Abstention takes
The best I've ever been. I took like an afternoon to just see if I could do really well, and I got in the top 1,000. I got like 999.
So the Pasuk says, be strong.
You know what? You know what?
The blood
Because you're
or
terrible.
blood is the life source. Torah is telling you that the law.
Yep.
I will say generally most of us don't struggle with blood consumption.
I could be
And yet the Torah says there's much reward for that. And I will say that's the thing I don't have a struggle with that. Gezel, Arayos, Shenafsho Adam is Abelah. Everyone desires. Everyone desires. The Makandasa. Aporish Mehen Alakas Kama Bakama Shis Gelo, Ulugorosa, Ulugorosa,
Yeah, big dog.
Havos. They'll say.
You know
Thanks, big man.
Number one,
I'll take it.
Stephen which again, he takes absolutely no power. But yet, again, I get fucking meals. Can you imagine the all of us, someone else staying is a source for me, for my children, and for all future generations. The source of finding the real power to abstain from engaging in immorality and theft, fuels myself.
Zero.
Here we go ahead, Torah and mitzvahs.
I remember when the next
over here is that a lot more nice. Why 613? Come on, let's consolidate. Let's make this a little bit easier. Why?
You want to say?
And although we are obligated to fulfill all mitzvahs, not all of us find religious or spiritual fulfillment in.
How come that doesn't count?
Here or again, I want to be clear. I have to do everything. Where I like it, don't like it, fine. That being said, there's a beautiful, magnificent spiritual sport from which spiritual fulfillment. Everybody sees the time. Some people Torah doesn't like. Some people like London. Some people like Hasidus. Some people like this. Everybody likes different things.
You just gave me that.
There's no picking and choosing. I have to do it all. But Restream gave us all of these different beautiful outlets, all these different beautiful lanes, so that I could find what speaks to me. Hashem ultimately
gets it in.
desires to go ahead and do good. Yagdir Torah v'Yagdir will literally amplify
Where's that shot?
and ultimately parents. The Lord says this follows. Right, what's that? For that, let's try to what's that? Shkak, everyone? Tomorrow is our last day of Maseches Makkos. Give me back last. Shkak, everyone.
That was like
I had to do that initially.
It was worse after that.
No, 3 out of 10. You know what I did in school?
What do you give me that score?
4.5. Do you know why?
Why is that, big dog?
Because it's still difficult for you to get. What's your favorite?
All right, everyone say good morning, let us begin. Begin by thanking
Yeah, because you were in love with her.
all the children dress shows this year.
You can be here tomorrow.
That means she'll be a trailblazer in her own way.
The commemoration of the outside of Shmuel's father, Leonard Karapkin.
I don't know. I think tomorrow should change every time.
I don't know. The world's weird. Our morals change all the time. I can't tell if morals are so really immoral. I'm not real good about this now. Even if it's not like let's just wake up about this now and like the things you do today are really immoral. You realize you look straight and go, oh shit, I should maybe the whole world's changed. Everything's gone to shit, and the whole world has no order anyway. So that scenario, that is that.
Okay.
Of the self-sacrifice of Christ as well. And that's what we will do for each other, and what we will do for our people, and what we will do for our land. There's absolutely no limitation.
Look how sick this shot is. Did you see that? Kiss shot, kick shot, bank shot. So did you see that?
Yeah.
Now, are you going to see this shot? Look how good. Dude, I never get two in a row.
You want my opinion on power?
No, but give it to me.
I think weird world is just
All right, big dog.
too many people.
Okay, now I'm not. You're okay.
Why you said it? No.
Dude, this earth could support maybe like 1 trillion people.
Why would you need to
Depends. Maybe there are people who want 1 trillion people.
I don't know.
I didn't ask if you wanted it. I'm just saying it could support it.
Really?
Yeah, dog. You know, you could fit every single person in the world within the state of Texas and give each one of them like an acre of land or some pretty big amount of space.
And that requires us to make sure that their sacrifice is worthwhile, that we are maximizing our opportunities.
Yeah, especially when you think about underwater living and like creating underwater apartment complexes and such. Yeah, easily. And underground living.
Everyone has a feeling in this thing. Everyone has a feeling.
It's a number too big for me to even be able to do.
Everyone's going to the cemetery.
What do you define as a person? On Earth? Like Earth humans? Oh yeah, they're way more planets on Earth. That's only 8 billion. There are 8 billion planets in our there are like billions of galaxies.
Do you think that there are ways that we can travel to them now?
Today? Yeah, I do.
I can be just not in the physical. Like I think shit like stuff. I would get
Neato.
How do you define an act of wearing shines? So,
Yo, big dog.
take it off.
Oh, give it to me. What?
What do you think?
Each of those acts, seriously, are going to be separate.
Dude, I don't talk about this.
And therefore, there would be liability.
Did you think that was
I just remove myself. I just take my arm out of the sleeve, and then again get out strong.
Why not?
Put my arm back in.
It's pretty obvious. Just look at it.
Remember, there's a fascinating answer. The Gemara says,
An eclipse occurs, and there's like a giant sphere on the moon that covers the moon. So you can obviously see what the shape of the planet is.
Therefore, it has to be you removing the garments and putting it back. And not necessarily.
And there are quite a few other ways as well.
This is actually quite fascinating.
I mean, yeah, like just fun.
Agreed.
What
If you are at a high point, nice blind shot. If you're at a high point, like at the top of a boat, you can actually see the sun setting. And I mean, if you're in a plane, you can see the curvature of the Earth, like a really high plane. And then there's like this experiment that was done by the Egyptians, where you could have an obelisk in one. Are you serious? An obelisk in one city and an obelisk in another city, and tell by the length of their shadows of the obelisk what the shape of the Earth was, and they actually calculated it to be extremely accurate.
So we got this interesting part of the Mishnah. The Mishnah said for one act of turn, you could be chayiv for 8 different levels, 8 different prohibitions, and then the Mishnah went through those different prohibitions. It says in our Minnu V'Gamru, it was decided. Now Rashi points out today, what's this Chabura? Rashi says in the third white line, Mira Li, Yom Asifa, or Yom Bad, Hayom Lahem, Shekorin Chabura. This Chabura is more like the Yakikara. Right, in other words, right, so there was a Yakikara. So they got together for a day, right? Rashi says it's very interesting. Yom Asifa, they're gathering, or Yom Bad. Yeah, they're gathering where again they got together to discuss issues. And they decided the following idea. That if one covers kilayim, so what does this mean? What's the classic case of planting kilayim? Right? Classic case of planting kilayim. You take some seeds, you dig a hole in the ground, you put it in the ground, and then you cover it. That's kilayim. That's kilayim. Okay. So I say, so what about, let's say again, if the seeds are already in the ground? Let's say they're already there. And then what? I come along and I cover the seeds. So I did not put them in the ground, but I covered them. Is there liability for that? So the Gemara says, we decided in the Chabura that even covering, even going ahead and cover seeds is Kilayim you get longer. So I'm going to Lav Mishnah single reason. Rabbi Yana, calm down. That's not such a big finish. That's our Mishnah. That's our Mishnah, right? What did the Mishnah say?
Yeah, baby.
Ready? Yeah. Sometimes you could plow 1 foot out.
How far is that on the scale?
What are the 8 levels? Right, I'm plowing with an ox and a donkey, so that's again kilayim.
That's shut.
And they're consecrated. Kilayim bakara. And again, I'm planting a forbidden mixture. So the Gemara says, by the way, what's the case of plowing, which makes you liable to kilayim? Must be that what's really happening over here is that as I'm bringing animals with the cloud is actually covering the seeds with dirt. Right? So you can't plow and
No, dog.
But the act of killing is
Dude, I'll end it on that shot.
So how can I violate killing? What's the answer? If I'm as I am leading the
I use those 80s blunt rubber bro. Somehow still fucks it up.
dirt covers the seeds. Then that's going to be an active killing. So you see from here, then you
Blind.
No,
So
I didn't buy it.
Okay, espera. E lá English Catholic Magalisa to say,
Like,
your expression.
I don't know.
Had
2 months
I
ago.
not lifted up the shard, would you have discovered the jewel? In other words, remember when I said, remember the discussion over there? But now I said, we decided to cover up the cover up the ultimately, I think, in reliable for Kilai.
Are you ready to lose a dice party?
Finish the that case of
Maybe like 30 seconds.
Yeah, don't.
so I said the only reason you're interpreting it that way is because of my statement. Had it not been for my statement, you would not have known that particular reality. But I say it's such a great line. It says, right, so Ilah the delight in the podcast about English Catholic Magalisa. Had I not been able to pottery shard, we would have never found the joy. But I say so many times in life, we accomplish things, we see things, we discover things, we understand things, and we often think it's our own accomplishment. What we sometimes fail to recognize or fail to realize is that the accomplishments of the present are only due to the Mesiras Nefesh and to the sacrifices of the past. Only because someone came before me and lifted up a pottery shard do I have the ability to discover the jewel. And it's like, we just spoke a few moments ago about this idea that, you think about the heroes, sometimes we see all of the machlokes that happen there to Israel. Like all of the machlokes. And again, sometimes it's hard to know from the news, what's real and what's not. And in general, whenever you follow the news, you think that the sky is falling. But when you go ahead and you sometimes look at the news out of Eretz Israel, and it feels like Chas v'Shalom lo alinu Rahman Yisrael Sinah is going ahead and moving its ugly head. And just today, if everyone's following the news, they evacuated 5 communities along Route 1. Route 1 is closed today in Arizona, Yerushalayim, because of wildfires that are burning. And it's almost like sometimes the nation sends us these messages that there are too many fires burning in Eretz Israel. There's too many fires. Right? We're not talking about Hamas, we're not talking about Hezbollah, we're not talking about the Houthis. The Houthis, I still can't remember the Houthis are. Right? So it's not those fires. You have to be someone significant to start up with the Jewish people. Like, you can't be some guys with just a bunch of fires and just, you shot that. Anyway, so there's not those fires, there are too many fires inside Klal Yisrael. Too many fires inside Klal Yisrael. It's almost sending us this message. Extinguish the fires. Extinguish the fires. Because you can't rightly what you need. Eretz Yisrael, what we have in Am Yisrael today is such a pearl. Why do we have the pearl? Because those who came before us, so many of those for whom we mourn on Yom HaZikaron, came and removed the pottery shard. So we work hard to remove the shard so we can enjoy the pearl. And too often we squander the pearl with so much infighting. There's so much fighting.
Mr. Chris, you ready for me?
For the people who removed the shard so you could enjoy what you have. For the people in your life who have sacrificed, who have given what you want, so that you can
Mr. Chris, how was your day?
Sometimes we just hear from like,
Lovely, thankfully. Are you ready for your weekend? Alrighty. Yay! Yay! Yay for Sage Green. Yay for Sage Green. We've got sage green, lavender, and champagne. Is that right?
Yeah, I think
Oh, ivory, okay. That's great. Are you going to get to see it before the big day? Nice strike. You're welcome.
Weeds around July. Again, remember what is weeding do? The silicus growth. So if it's July running, I weed around July. So if you go into July or fish. I'm sorry, mechaka. Or if I go ahead and cover the seeds, you get milk because that's compound to July. Rabbi Kiva says
Nice spin.
Rabbi Kiva says even if you just sustain, i.e. fail to night time of the keyboard, so we keep it logic. The sign of Sotva Yasizra Kilai. The pasuk says, do not go ahead and if you're in 80 hours I don't know that the prohibition is to seed, is to actually plant. It's the plant. So the Gemara says, the kind of, I don't know that even sustaining plant is good in the problem. The juxtaposition of two words, even though again,
Yeah.
The begging kilayim shines. It's right. It's really 3 kilayim. Don't intermix animals. Don't go ahead and intermix seeds. And don't go ahead and it's interesting because it's a juxtaposition of kilayim recycling. That the juxtaposition of something means it can't be kilayim. Don't even sustain kilayim. Because sustain kilayim by definition. Someone is like, oh, I'm not here. So that's fine. So therefore,
No, ma'am.
I'm even liable for coloring. And again, Rabbi Akiva goes so far to say that I'm even liable for going ahead and sustaining it as
what?
Let's go back to why don't you go ahead? Remember, why not go ahead and also set this up as a case when is all of this happening? It's happening right now. It's for seating for seating.
Yeah, she had food.
Just giving a lot of examples of joint life.
So the plans be better before
Once you give a number, so once it's a specific list, I will see the same whatever is excluded is excluded. On Rabbi, Ishmael Malachas B'Shabbos, they include Malachas B'Yom. Here's the difference. Rabbi says there is a discussion of others. In other words, you can be chayiv from multiple Malachas. On Shabbos, but that's not
Oh, get it, Miss Aquarius. Get it. That was great. Get this spam. The most unlikely spam.
Okay, she says over here, ملخص بهذا الآخر أو أصل ملخص شديش بشتغل إنه خايف على آخص. So it's an interesting idea in general. Again, we're not going into all the halachic distinctions, but Shabbos has Chilik Mulachos. Yom Tov does not have Chilik Mulachos. Okay, so the Gemara says, Eiskecha is that true? In Chilik Mulachos, the Yom Tov is that true that you can't be liable for multiple mulachos
There's a quick. I would just tell you this issues that he can't control, and so if you're ever like, that didn't make any sense. Why would you say something like that?
I get it.
Absolutely. I didn't know it. I was friends with him for like 6 months, and I didn't pick up on it. And but I never had that really long conversation with him that I can recall. And then one day he just told Riser and me and a nice spare, and then and he struggles with it. Nice try. I have to get this one. Most important bit of the day. That's a giant spare. You just need one. That's what I'm talking about.
You win, I win, you win. Undefeated in bowling, undefeated in friendship. That's right, Mr. Aquarius. All right, it's your turn for a very well-deserved sleep, and I will see you. God bless you. Good morning. He's in here, but he's not here earlier today. All right, Mr. Aquarius, sweet dreams, you got me.
Ultimately, again, and ultimately, again, and yes, they wanted to be severe, and we got yes, okay, fine, so it's not this way. So it's just we're back to asking you, you might want to ask a series of questions, but all the same basic question, which is, why does the Mishnah use this case, right? Why are we limited to 8 acts of liability? After we can use so many other forms of liability that could create additional liability. Only that only the Rashi, they look at a Restream, was Sabi Ta'iva El Bisaha. So let's say, so what about the following idea? Why not go ahead and get this? Ultimately, the Greek tradition, we are doing a violation to your home. What's the case of the regulation? The answer is this over here is that actually no, the cooking wasn't done. The cooking wasn't done as well. That's the case. The cooking wasn't done with Ashura, that it was done with Ashura. Okay, that's what I said. The Ashura, sorry, still back in the case, I apologize. That's what I said. And the word is Ashura, the Ashura, the kiss from the Aish, the sound is okay, fine. Take a look again. What comes up is the halacha once again. So first of all, remember the halacha when it comes to Kilayim. Those are the first halachas we just saw. And also, apparently, when it comes to Shabbos, there can be multiple levels of liability for multiple acts. They call shirik malachas. Even if you perform multiple acts in one time of one last of the limits, it could be individual liability and no shirik malachas by notes. Okay, incredible. That's what I did. So you have correction is necessary back now. Correction is this case. The Mishnah said you could do one aspect of the following and be liable different times. He reminded us it just simply going to ask. He was going to say, why not add on additional prohibitions? For example, you might say, Master Rachel, the lecture nami has a natural insight. It's very interesting. I could add on the next tonight, where there's that Mishnah, because in Mishnah states, like, and finally the acts, and the man, you have like, I got on like, where's the final taking place? Not for Asa. That's not for Asa. That's one way that when you see Ezra and Musa. That's the halacha level. That's the halacha. It's ultimately again, now what it is that if you do not have power in that area, it's for everything to leave it down. It's in that, the following the taking place in that for Asa, another liability. That's also the halacha level. I share the halacha level. These are masculine halacha, you know. But that's something that I'm making a session about person. I'll give you another case. Let's say someone handed me Hashem ring, and I ended up going ahead and erasing that name of Hashem with my cloud as I told it. So as I'm plowing, I thought Hashem erased the name of Hashem. Another liability. That's what I say. I didn't the one way against the name of Hashem in the following process. Well, it sounds simpler. It's like, he bought it for that shit, he bought it for his he shall be struggling with idolatry. We're constantly putting Hashem elevate and do not do the same question in your life. That's what I about. But it's, we're just trying to figure out how you can add on additional levels of liability to this prior case. So, you know, the lecture one that concept as the halakha. Let's say, as I'm following, I also go ahead and remove my father has illusion. Which is a very low prohibition, that's in the halakha. He's shama there, that's us. Master Rabbi, he's a very kasha. The next one is interesting. Amaria HaKosher Me'ah the massive body of that's the way I mentioned. Remember, it indicates the Mishnah, the guy, the question was the Kohen. What was the Kohen? Was it Kohen? Let's take it up a notch. Let's see what the Kohen does. And what did he do? He went ahead and he was wearing the big and while plowing, he actually has a different discussion over here. While plowing, before plowing, after plowing, during the plowing, he moved the kosher. The kosher is the breastplate. He moved the kosher from the apron. Allah is the kosher itself is attached to the apron of the Kohen Gadol. There's a typical prohibition to move the kosher. Let's say he did so. Or he removed the hose of the oil and used those in the plowing process. That's bad. And removing that. The point that we're about to say is we're just trying to show how you can add on additional layers of liability beyond the 8. Initially, it just sounds like 8 is the maximum. We might just try to show, obviously, again, these are exaggerated cases, but we might just try to make a point. But I'm not going to mention you can add on additional layers of liability should you choose to do so. Guys, I want to say, well, yes, Suri, or Zakakoshe, Master Korabashi, the next Shagnani, Hakosh, let's add another example, right? One's plowing ultimately as a Hansiyashira. They would have actually retreat. Or let's say my plow is made out of a using Ahozizara in the actual that's what's in the alcohol. When you fuck the alcohol, master of the production, let's see, I know I told you to run a stars. Let's say you act the pouring and end up cutting down perfectly good fruit trees. Okay, now I'm going to help the other trees. That's what's in the alcohol. You get so far, but also with sickness. I'm going to do this. So you have some money. Sorry, I'm going to leave the zero money. The lecture money. I didn't know what to go. She won't show across the young. So let's say again, this guy who touches something else. All trying to show is how you can add on even more prohibitions. So here, you have the zero, so you're going to have money. Everybody's there. Maybe you're talking about a guy who made a share. I mean, actually, what's a show me he made a swear. He swore, I will not plow on Yom Tov. Then he ends up plowing on Yom Tov, in addition to all the other levels of liability else has he done. He's transgressed. He's shooting. Level liability. He's going to say, no, that's not a thing. I'll tell you that. Some work on how much shooting off. You should put all the lessons. That shooting actually does not work. Why doesn't actually work? Because there's a concept. You should walk the whole day. Which one of these, and we'll get into the second school is, if you are already obligated to do something. Ultimately, again, an additional shvuah does not devolve upon that act. Like, for example, let's say a person swears, I'm going to put on tefillin this year. So let's say if everybody is supposed that's the transaction. Why? I'm already obligated to do so. That's called mishra b'ol. I'm already obligated to do so. So therefore, taking an oath that I won't plow on Yom Kippur, and then plowing on Yom Kippur, I'm liable for violation. I'm not liable for violation of the oath. Why not? Because I'm already observed, so you're already obligated to not plow on Yom Kippur. It's not chosen consequence anyway, because that was very close. So first of all, I'm going to honor short to the hafresh being the problem in Yom Kippur. You get the call, you should the call, call already now in Yom Kippur. So once I start again, this is already trending for sure. So this, so what the case is where I swore I'm not going to plow during the week and on Yom Kippur as well. And also now, here's the concept of Shua, but since the Shua is foul on the weekday component, it's also foul on the Yom Kippur component. Okay. So we'll see all of the mechanics of that when we get to Shua. Which the emotion is no. We see the shade of low pattern. We're not putting anything okay that could be ultimately again can actually shade up, shows you can revolt. So therefore again on a nose, you have a nose. So any prohibition that could be a nose is very clear in this lesson. That's really that true. A nose for hard package, I would have to be a nose. And if you go ahead and you like if you make something package, you can have that valid nose. You could have that safety trust in the state circumstances. Because the fire, the heavy fire that is just using the fire. As a fire nose is to be touching that home. Its sanctity again is in the world, and therefore cannot be known. I have a heart nose, yes, and that's what we know. And again, when you see the Mishnah, flowering was taking place in some color, and dying tough was pointing in nose, yes. That's sanctity again, you can know. And nose is shimsha. So he's actually interested. If you want to put back our nose, he's right. What is a nose is shimsha? A nose is shimsha is literally again a nose in you, right? Shimsha is made a nose by the Malach Hashem, while still inside his mother. So another shimsha, easier shimsha, is not like dedication. That is the eternal status. Imagine, 1 second. Another shimsha, by its meaning and its new, is the issue. Another shimsha might be a set of things, but there's no prohibition to become communities. Another shimsha does not commit space. It doesn't have a prohibition to commit space. And yet, another shimsha, clearly there was a lot of things different practices. So that at a high time, it's a colon Leslie. Does not go ahead and get involved in what we call an issur colon. So what's its meaning again? Issur colon refers to what makes a shua that I won't go ahead and plow on the weekday and Monday. So watch it is since it goes ahead and applies to weekday, it also develops upon Monday. Our color does not subscribe to that person. Okay. So how was that again? The one thing was just what the key is, you know, the responsibility. Taking just is, even when the Mishnah said 8, and usually when the Mishnah says a number, usually what's the number of the number? What's the number of the number? We say yes and no more. That doesn't follow. It doesn't work. And I love when I say again, if you want to construct a case, with additional levels of liability, you could potentially do that in this scenario. Okay, there's more example. I think I'm not being shut to an impression. Make it smaller. So let's say this is about what you say. So Moshe says, if you go ahead and you breathe a sharp suit on the pressure, and that's a little bit last for just a moment, I'm going to do a sharp suit on the pressure comes by life. So you get a few amino loca. So let's say, so if you have, for example, let's say you have an animal that was a carbon. The animal became disqualified for whatever reason. Now look at is now, you can redeem that animal. And we'll develop a moment. You can redeem that animal. And also that means that it's still when it comes to a redeemed Kabbalah's animal. It still retains some of its sanctity. So for example, you could shuck it and eat it, but let's say for example, you can't use it for its shooter. So you're not using it in certain ways, not allowed to use it in other ways. Because of that, a redeemed Kabbalah's animal is looked at in Allah as almost having two different identities in one. It's it's looked at as two animals in one animal. It's on one hand it's hegdish, and on the other hand is hol. Back to Rashi. Rabbi Shapsula the question Rashi says over again. Shemifta Afilu Aminoyot Shaykh Echad Vasar HaKasar Shnei Bifim. Even though it's one animal, it's almost as if it's really two animals in one. The Torah catching each other. On one hand, it's a human animal, and then it's a Kodesh animal. Torah's creation of the Bafila, but you first the house after all Lord. Really more work with the Lord. So on one hand, it's human. Why is it human? You can check and you can eat it. And where can you check and where can you eat it? Anywhere you want. Anywhere you want. On the other hand, the Torah's touching Shasa the Giza Babel. On the other hand, it's doing things on this Kabbalah same thing. In that, you can't shoot and you can't use it for us. Because then the Sifri, the Torah that's not Shah. So let's say, so skip down a little bit in Rashi. Right, we'll talk. Last 3 lines of that Rashi. We'll talk. I'll show you how I feel this. Listen to this. So therefore, if you have a short Shmir Dasha, so let me just put this case, because it's actually really quite interesting. Some of the animals said that is a carbon. That will develop the name. As a result of having to do it. What the military author begins, this animal has a dual identity. On one hand, it's still considered hectish, so you can't work with, you can't shoot it. On the other hand, it's considered to be cool, because what can I do? I can eat it. This animal therefore is considered to be two animals in one. Therefore, if you move this animal with another animal, it's divided, even if it's the same species of animal. Right? Why? Because this animal is considered to have these dual identity, and therefore, again, if you made it, you can't make it have this animal, because that's just a fish. And even if you made it a cool animal, that's considered to be the mating of two dissimilar species. Now, the image over here is that two different statuses are the equivalent of mating two different species, which is interesting. So finish up that Rashi. So Rashi says over here, therefore you can't mate it even with its own species. You should try it. So now these are fully out touching, all touching, all clean. So this is that's how you can't go and make it. So structure and touching, you can eat it, but you can't work it because right now you can't shoot because it's like this. You can't move it with anything else because that's still out. That's the more just a moment. We're not finished next year. Similarly, I'm going to be I'm not going to disrupt you on the question. Look at Sharkuf Akadu, the Salah Hakosam Sishne Gifu. So travels and so too. You can't even leave this down. Like you can't even cry with that animal. Not only can you not go ahead and not only can you not cry with that animal with another animal, like you can't just another lion, you can't even cry with the shark sitting on the question itself. But listen, you can't do it because you're allowed to look at animal, but even if you were to do it, that would be tantamount to what? Crying with two different animals. Essentially, what I'm saying, the shark sitting on the question is reviewed disqualified carbonic animal has this dual identity. So because what the Gemara says, number one, you can't mate it with any other animal as that is called to lie because of the identity, and you can't even use that animal to pull your fly by itself because that animal is the equivalent of two animals. And if I'm using one animal to learn and pull your fly, hopefully you're going to be an issue of flying as well. That's what actually I'm not. I'm not that's why even if you had to sync up the species under the cloud with that animal, you leave the animal itself, it's still July. He says, who in the country will the Chayyishim July, the Chayyishim. So once I say bottom line, what's the takeaway from this? The takeaway is that a short swim question of this qualified carbonic animal has a dual identity. Because it has a dual identity, therefore you can't use it to pull your cloud. Again, you can't use it to pull your cloud anyway, because you're not allowed to use that animal for what. But if you were to use it to pull your cloud, not only would you be engaging in a legal use of consecrating consecrated item, but it also be collided. And if you try to manipulate even of its own species, also called collided. It looks like you see one of the most inspirational and beautiful demands that you come across. Why? Like I said, because you remember, as a shark has this dual identity. When you hear this, what does it remind you of? What does it remind you of? It reminds you of yourself. Don't you see yourself in this shark sitting on the flesh? This shark on one hand, on one hand, It was Kodesh Kadashim. Right? Just a day ago, where was it? Where was it? Just a day ago. It was inside the base of the ready to go. Fantastic. Inspired. Ready to fulfill its interest. Ready to do what it's supposed to do. What happens? What happens? It developed the moon. And what happens with that moon? What happens with that moon? That moon passes out of the base of the crush. That moon removes it from the Mizbeach. And now it's kind of just walking around outside, like feeling all dejected, like feeling like an abysmal carbonic failure. And then what happens? The sun is not this back country from the morning, what do you say to the show? What do you say to the show? Shut up. Don't worry. Don't worry. He's still Polish. He's still Polish. And you're still going to be inside of you. Okay, you're not the same as what you once were. But let's be think for a moment that that young Polish diversity of your tradition, you can never be further from the truth. Once Polish, always Polish. Once holy, always holy. No matter what your name is, you can never remove your Polish. So your extra status from the side. Like I said, what you're inspiring and like a friend do. Because there was how many of us have had those beautiful moments where like, yes, I'm doing exactly what I need to do, how I need to do it. I'm going to be providing this on the crush. I'm buying this there. I'm fulfilling my slippers. And then what happens? It happens. They're looking at me. You know exactly what happens. Right? What happens is you develop a wrong. I make a mistake. I make a wrong turn. I do something I'm not supposed to do. I'm doing something I'm not supposed to indulge. And suddenly again, I'm like thrown out. I'm cast out. Suddenly all of that growth comes crashing down. Suddenly all of that beautiful movement and all of that beautiful tradition seems to have dissipated. And I'm just walking around aimlessly in life, looking from the outside in, wondering at that beautiful design of personalistic spiritual accomplishment. And it feels so forlorn, and I feel so rejected, and I feel so empty. You're not going to relax. It won't be a short scene on the question, renewing your life, the mistakes of life compromise us. Yes, when we make mistakes, we distance ourselves from our personalistic spiritual goals. Our personalistic goals. Unless we take back the room, we want to see our own condition. Most people think that with every room the doctor starting to square one as an empty vessel is what is going to finish this. Even the sharp soon on the Russian, even after it develops its wing, still retains its residual condition. And it's a true sharp, as ox, an animal, and Allah has countless, and Allah has terrible trouble. Even when we develop our meaning in life, how much we retain our residual condition. But it is the richness of the lovely, beautiful divine to be massaging us as we recover from our meaning in life. Now, once again, there's one big difference. What's the big difference? That's the biggest difference. The shard, once it has a name, it looks like what's that? Once it has a name, it's done. All of the mikveh, very much by Kabbalah says, once you develop a min and you're out, you are up. Here lies the greatest distinction between man and shad. I develop a min, and while I have that min, alright, so I'm outside of the mikveh. And even if I'm outside of the mikveh, I still retain my condition. But I can heal, I can regenerate, I can fix my meaning and get right back into the mikveh of personalistic accomplishment. Incredible. Good show. Tell him about yourself. We waited for this mission the whole time. Hey, Malchus. All about Malchus. Yeah, let's get into Malchus. I'm going to be so excited. Here's the Malchus. I'm going to pass it off. Let's begin. Maximum number 39. I bet the total says 40. Sorry, it says 40. So it's the misspell. I avoid a number like 40, which means a number close to 40, but not 40. So 39. So 39 is the maximum number of Malchus that a person can go ahead and get. The reader says, no, a bunch of people not sure you get 40 Malchus. So we'll see that our folks may learn a little bit. So let's say, so one way, the look is how you see it. Now let's say, we're going to see that you get on the kind of camera, overview where you get Malchus. Come to the result, there's a 48. Try to tell them which is like 40. But you get, where do you get that 40 rush, right? Where does that go? Big safer. Ultimately, again, goes between the shoulders. You know, we'll talk more about that in a while. We're going to do something about what's the shoulders. First thing I will say, when assessing the number of Malchus, you only get a number divisible by 3. Like, always a number divisible by 3. Okay, we'll see why that is. So the Gemara says, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not going to use the French. I'm doing the cover of right. The local mix. Let's say that we workshop this. I said, I'm kidding about this. And usually he said he's capable. And I said, I have to put capital. There's a position, amazing position. So we did his physical. We assessed he was able to withstand 40 knockers or 39 knockers or 1 knockers on the base. The ambition of the cover of more important. And listen, what ended up happening? What ends up happening is let's say usually they say he's at 40. And then it turns out the ambition of the cover of them. And then it turns out that Allah for the man should be assessed. But he can't go ahead and get the full 40. He stopped. He gets what he gets, and that's it. Everything else, how about the understanding of the cover. It's even this bounce in the basement, the local success, suddenly the happy. Have a long of the Alhamdulillah and one of the understanding of the cover, Kulon, I'm sorry, Kulon, when you take the show the drop on the local average now, the Afghanistan number of this was a sex. The mission is the Israel. Let's say basically decided we don't even get 39 markers. We start rationing. He has a negative reaction to the ration. He can't kill anymore. So that's like, it's okay. We stop. And whenever we back to back, and we don't even get the rest. That's not a problem. Okay. And here the type of smaller estate, we shall not understand the power of boys. Assuming let's say we assessed that he's only getting 18 markers. And then what happens? As they start flying in the game, the stuff holds up well. Right? He is capable, right? He is capable, much more durable than we thought. He's capable of getting more markers. We don't do that. In other words, whatever the initial assessment was, that's what we're sticking. But the finish over here is that if you have an initial assessment, then once we start the flying, they recognize that if you totally we don't go ahead, we give them what we got, and that's it. And that's it. Now listen, now she points out, let's see the mark. Let's see the mark. My timer. So listen, first of all, we have used my focus over there. I'm listening to the camera and La Viviva. How many markers you actually get? The camera says 39, that user says 40. So what's the last focus? My timer. The boss says 40. Right, 40. So you really don't try to check it on the camera. Ultimately, then, what do you see for you know? So my timer. So there's an X I brought in. So X I brought in the misspell. How come I brought in the number? So then, if the person said I brought in the misspell, 40 in number, I would have said that means 40 lashes. So the this hashtag is the misspell I brought in. And it's interesting, the possibly should get lost. Much of the person is the misspell I brought in. And the number of 40, which sounds like what? Meaning to circle this I brought in. A sum, a number that is close to 40. Someone is like a number close to 40. Therefore, as I'll interpret that as, we're trying to interpret that as 39. Then, roughly, that's how we pass it. Like, we pass it 41 markers, not 40. Allah says, it's a beautiful thing. Allah says, come to show you shouting sheep. How foolish people are. To claim you come in Sefer Torah, they stand up for a Sefer Torah, but they'll claim you come in Gavra Rabba. But they don't stand up for Talmidei Chacham. Why? What's the chance to get away? You go to Sefer Torah, you say that boy, because in the Sefer Torah it says you get 40 markers. And Rabbi's came along and saved you from one of the actions. So, let's say, so what does this mean? So Rabbi says, you see how great Chazal are, people stand up for a Sefer Torah, and people don't stand up for a Talmidei Chacham. 30 times you get 40 knockers, but Chazal came along and interpreted it as 30 knockers. Those are what's the shot. Look at the scenes like this. And it's a lot of times, we look at rabbinic law as an additional layer of owner's responsibility. And it goes through our minds, right? I think everyone's had this thought at some point in time in the evolution of the day-to-day personality is don't the rabbis have better things to do with their time than add on additional layers of authority. Right? Come on, how is complicated enough? How much is complicated enough value all these things? What's the so important to understand? But the whole notion of rabbinic law is there to save us, is there to help us, is there to actually facilitate our self-actualization. Yes, sometimes by adding on additional protective layers so that we don't make egregious mistakes that could compromise our spiritual standing. If you do it more, is never there to make life more difficult. Okay. That Chazal speaks of the futures we will be lost. Chazal ultimately again provide us the lifeline to ensure that we have success in our leadership, but to go ahead and work Hashem, hopefully, make our leadership more accessible and make it easier to succeed. It's most manifest over here. Torah says, we get 40 leftists. Chazal came along and removed the lash. Now let's say to yourself, remove the lash, but I agree. It's never that day you fought, I guarantee you. When they get up to 38, and you realize there's only one more and that, two more, you are singing the praises of Chazal. But this represents actively removed an obstacle, so to speak. He actively removed a lash. This is what Chazal did all of the time. He removed some of the rocks. He removed difficulties. Remaking it as all these additional layers of nonsensical things. It's not true. It's because we are moving in our understanding and we are moving in our appreciation. But if you understood what Chazal truly did for us, our appreciation of Muhammad, appreciation of Chazal, appreciation of Tanshi Mahal, appreciation of Kami Al-Iran, would skyrocket. Because they are there only to help us, only to facilitate our growth, and never concentrate to add on additional difficult layers. So beautiful. And we go our bunch statements. And we thank you, Yuda. Also, we decide that we enjoy this. It's מה הקורס העיר בידיך? So everybody's asking me, not as much about this that we do the whole, but I love the lights of this 40. 40 is interior. That's really just really enough. What about that 40 lash? Like the Yuda says, it goes between the shoulders. Ultimately, what's the shot with that? So what's the Yuda is around this puzzle? What are these macros? Any of that was in between your shoulders. So it's the honor actually to see they smell that. I have been plunged at the hips by my loved one. So it's very beautiful over here. It's understanding even the lashes that come about. I work for what purpose? I work for love. I work for instruction. So as I said, again, what we've been doing is a lash. He's talking about a lash that comes between the shoulders. And let's say we're going to see in general is the next Mishnah. Lashes are really done between the shoulders. And so what's that lash between the shoulders? That must be the 40th one. Right? That must be that additional lash. Okay, the Rabbanon says, no, what is this passage referring to? I think the problem is, ultimately, again, that's actually talking about the flogging of the contact a little bit. So again, obviously, two for the Gemara. So it's an important discipline. There's different about the discipline. So physical discipline, right? Physical discipline is clearly very accepted. So that lash that they're referring to, that's the lash that the Rebbe gets the telling is ultimately, again, in the keep them in line. That's that additional lash. Okay, so a person not this himself. And on the other not what's happening to us. So remember again. So interestingly enough, now look at this for the Jewish that you assess how much a person would take lash-wise. Like how much it take. So you might say, right, I'm doing a Kabbalah, but look at this, just remember, you should have that two cases. Case number one is, we assess that we need to get 30 markers. And then we started, and then ultimately you couldn't withstand anymore. You stop and you say, okay, you've received your punishment, you're done. So the voice is in there, you says, in a lot, you're not around. What's that say? So when you start with 0 5 this tomorrow. I'll tell you this out. You didn't decide to put 30 in off. It's like you said, you have to have the mail, not you can use the 60, right? So he's able to bring that and get 39 off. If you start clogging him, and what happens? He goes ahead and starts the buckle. We're 18 in, very 18 in. So there are two approaches you can do it. Let's like approach number one. What's approach number one? What's one through approach? Take a break. Take a break. Let's break for a few, right? Because it's lunch. Right? Come back and let's resume this spot here. Right? That would be the best I could do. Or tomorrow. Or the next day, take a long weekend. Come back afterwards, right? Just flog on Monday. That would be very much reliable. It's like, the city by the way, if I steal, and let's say I stole $1,000, I only have $100 to pay. Fuck, we're using $100, then I have to turn in that, turn in 900. It's a debt. So sometimes the city this is a debt as well. You can't pay it now, or find it all. Interesting enough, that's not what the Mishnah says. What the Mishnah says is instead, we'll flog you, and since you can't take any more, you're done. So we're not going to get so pick up into this month. It's very interesting. So we're going to see there are times where you have to make up the notice, and times where you simply are going to take with what you receive. You want to make out each of those, and you have to go outside.
2 years in a row, you've gone out and headlining Eureka. How was that? It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Anything interesting happen out there? I was able to smuggle like probably like an ounce of weed back in my baggage. I felt cool doing that. Wow. You did? I did, yeah. I have it in my bag in my apartment. Where'd you put it in your bag? Did you put it like in a sock or something special? Did you try and all to hide it or like? I did it all. I just put the bag in there. I was feeling pretty down. I had been eating a bunch of fucking raisin bread. My sets were honestly a fucking disaster up there.
But can I say to you one
What
thing?
am I fucking doing?
This is
turned into a
let's walk actually to begin. It's only one that we are about money to tell. Beautiful receptors and messages. We're taking all of our conscious to take. Our annual mandatory starts with 4 captions and 80 14 stuff on right to sell. The dedicated Restream process this year as it's a gift to the soul of Thomas David on this rock. Mandatory practice of the month of the year. Our body will tell us all about the corruption. Incarnation of the earth like a shield. Father, Mr. Leonard, Yukla, Ben Lester, our coins, the coin of Yakov, the letter of the merit of our control, the return of having Aliyah, the family of Hama, still opportunities in years I showed before. Times that are conscious for the month of the year, tremendous month, tremendous school. Sponsored on the total of the month of the year. Here doesn't have anything else associated. It's like the drug, the post. Because of that, we got on the way to add additional tradition to the month of the year session is through our Torah, through our Golda, through Baruch Hashem, our tremendous stop each and every day. So if you'd like to sponsor, please feel free to. That message be act now. And in addition, we are going to let time with all of our precious hospitals in the next session from home, and all the soldiers will be successful at home and not see those who got to let us be. We have some incredible below today. Today's back to stuff out of 21. We are picking up all the stuff on this days. 20B. And the 2 dots towards not the last 2 dots, not the second to last 2 dots, the third to last 2 dots. So since the Hamaki contrast, where it is a second lot is really showing if you round out the corners of the head, so ultimately you're going to lose that. Obviously, what is on the other side? Oh, let's see. Sorry about it. Okay. These are some very important signals we'll have to do hair cutting and shaving to make sure that some good vision is going to put on the side of the Hashem. Today, as well, so we see a little bit more to be according to. We'll let go of this focus. So tell our translation. What is the mean if you can't shave off the corners of your head? Now, this is what we classically call the obligation to maintain pace. So what does this mean? Ladies and gentlemen, so what does it mean in front of your head? זה המשך שאגב לאחורי אוזנו ולחגב חיים. So here's the image. If you can imagine, I'm the right person to illustrate this, but if you can imagine someone with a hairline. So whenever, if you can imagine, essentially go from your hairline, and taking that swath of hair between your hairline and between your temple. And imagine for a moment going ahead and shooting that back. That's area over here, really between the hairline and the temple. That's what we call the pace. There's a different halacha about the obligation to maintain what are called sideburns, but please, when you think about pace, it's interesting that often what you see there is that's the area from the temple down. There's an obligation to maintain a certain amount of hair from the temple down, but that falls under the obligation of not quote-unquote destroying the field. And again, I'm saying that to be going wrong. The idea of maintaining the hair is this area of hair between the hairline and between the jaw, right opposite the forehead, cannot be shaved. Cannot be shaved. But cannot call it to be hot,
Have fun. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
disrupted way. What that means is an interesting discussion. Because here's what I know of it. I can't take a razor to this part of my head. I can't take a razor to my head. Not only that, because even if I'm not using a razor, it is only so short that I was able to cut this area of my head. How short? We'll get into it. But that's not just that short. You know, if you know what's about it, what's the for this program? What is this? This is not here actually being down, but this is the way the priests used to go ahead and cut their hair. They still have it, so these priests have a haircut. So essentially, again, I'm sorry. No, not our Kahana. We call them Kahana. Right, we call them Kahana, yes. But not our Kahana, correct. But if you notice again, the way the haircut used to have it, they would essentially shave the hair, really again, between the hairline and between the temple, and it leaves like this hair on top. So all the rest, anyway, the haircuts are. The priests ultimately were just the top of priests. And one goes like that. You know, it says, Tani Kamika, please kind of not give the economic look at. This is very interesting. So now the Gemara says as follows: whether the person who's giving a haircut or the person who's receiving this illegal haircut, both get marked. Which is fascinating, right? If I go to this kind of haircut and say to the barber, shave off what we call the tails, right? The area between my temple and my hairline, and just take it all the way back. I am liable to mark this. And again, if it's a Jewish barber, he's liable to mark this as well. So you know, these guys say, I'm like, mind up for coming by my nephew. The expression is, one of these dates out of a bowl to get mucus. There's an expression that, what's the issue with eating dates out of the bowl? What's the issue? No, there's no issue with eating dates out of the bowl. So this is the expression that's not easy. You should nothing wrong and you should get mucus. And you know, what's actually, what is the mucus do? Right, I'm sorry. What did the Hadith do? What did I do? I'm sitting in the barber chair and I'm getting a haircut. I didn't do it myself. I didn't do it myself. But I'm getting all this. We got enough money and we did it. So what do? Kind of last thing what I said, okay, answer number one. So you got, I want to really say, even last to anyone myself. Even allowed to have that, or allowed to enjoy the facility. You get markets, that's one answer. Love other thing, the market you are small. You do that call. Oh, what's the case over there? I'm giving myself a haircut. Giving myself a haircut. So because I'm giving myself a haircut, that's what I'm going to be liability. But actually, the actions in this side, they actually give that call. Actually, no, the single answer over here. You say, what's this say there? I'm giving a haircut. So I'm going to I'm assisting. How am I assisting? I'm sitting in a cut a little bit over there. And I'm watching the haircut. So I have to say that this system in the haircut, there's a local relationship is going to be joint liability. Incredible. Much this past is the color. So person goes out and destroys what's the definition of destroy? And I found out past is the color, so is the color. So past is the color, you end up in the deal. You know, it says, but the age of 19 sorts of color, one is considered to be sorts of color, she told us it's the color. The quality part is here. And I said, so it's so early in the Mishnah.
Before we start tonight's episode, here's a little bit more about the amazing sponsors that made tonight's episode available for you right now. There are some things in life that I like to pick out myself, so that I know I've got the one that's best for me. Buying a cut of steak or a mattress or a rock gun. What if you could do the same thing for hire? Choose your ideal candidate, or maybe even apply. That's where ZipRecruiter's invite to 100% it gives you as the hiring manager the power to make our favorites for your top candidates. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/KillTone. Post a job on ZipRecruiter makes any of the most qualified people for your job. Make it easier to find the candidates and invite your top choices to apply for your job. Lower and red is what you need to narrow your position of mental health, raise about coworkers and point to apply. She says, I love that feature because we have a much higher quality rate for fight candidates. It's easy for me and it's easy for them. In fact, according to ZipRecruiter's internal data, jobs for employers use ZipRecruiter's fight to apply and on average 2.5 times more candidates, which helps for employers and workforce.
right? So we have a back of the
That's
neck.
right.
And then
See,
bottom
fair
neck
sale
one to go
just
ahead.
for
But
this
anywhere on the
exclusive
face,
lemon dress.
a laser with
ZipRecruiter.com/KILLTY. To try ZipRecruiter for free, that's ZipRecruiter.com/KILLTY. You guys ready to start tonight's show or what? Hope Philip, let's see how Smokehouse lives for free. Yo, me over there. You have to see Smokehouse in Golden Acres, ladies and gentlemen. So excited about every single week. I know comedians will roll on this show this week, no different. You're welcome to remember anyone here who this man was a guest on this show. Here tonight, it's Kill Tony's own longest-standing radio industry, the show, with the great machine, William Walker. Everybody.
No
Oh, shit.
laser on the face. No laser on the face.
Wow,
On
it's
the
the
head,
real
say it
William
now again.
Montgomery.
You could use a laser on your head. Let me use a
Looks
laser
a
on
lot
your
like
head.
Quentin
Like on the top
Tarantino
of
when
your
we
head
had him
and on
on
the back
a
of
couple
your head.
months
What
ago,
chance
but
you use a laser?
it is
And
William
again, in the
Lights
tail
Out,
area
the
over
Vanilla
here.
Gorilla,
And that's not
the
just the
Big
laser,
Red
by the way.
Machine,
They'll also apply to getting
the
a very
Slumdog
close haircut.
Millionaire.
Either the trimmer that doesn't need
So
to
does
use
Beer
enough
is
hair to
hard.
be able to perform. Again,
Comedians
there's
in the
a
world.
lot of discussion about this, is it number one and number two. And okay, like I said, well, yes, I said this is a good shirt to have because this is very nice. But that's the idea. That's what I think.
You're sober now. You are
Thank you, Mark. Not more afraid, but not place now. Thank you. I'm excited to see the alcohol. So next. So now I'm going to get off the speaker. Speaker means creating a laceration over the belt. Right? Remember again, this is not just in general, one is not the way to inflict trauma upon themselves, right? That's the know. This idea of speaker is back to laceration as a display of normal. That's what this is. So talk about it. This Sarah, jag kan inte visa att det är så som jag bara ser att det kan vara igen. Det är så att man ser det. Det är så. That's it. It's a passage on the other boat. Since that's carrying over cargo. That's easy to check was a passage on this is time spelled down. So that is the person is so distraught over the financial loss that what they do. They're actually so you got to call. It's actually a good one. It's on the low line. You didn't get that. But if the total goes out of the base to say what type of laceration you set up your nefesh, your technique side. Psychological, it's only laceration over the gut. It's only laceration over the spirit morning that is true halakha inside the neck. So what's the time of nefesh? Any kind of allowing is good. And you find it if you lacerate as a form of display of wanting to be dead. And then you decide how much she goes out on this echo. She kind of collapses out. I tell you whether if you lacerate yourself 5 times over one
First comedian is a regular on the show, much like William has been for years. We always have a maintained a core group of comedians. The great radio 60 seconds every single week. You get to watch them grow. This guy has been opening up for Joe Rogan because he compares his hair like Joe Tony is. Altering everything here on Austin, Texas. Very young, positive, everybody. Here we
Even
go.
if you lacerate one
Oh,
time
shit.
over 5 deaths, right? The person is more than 5 deaths
Here
with one
we go.
laceration. How do I know that I'm not going to lace again? I'm tired. The fire up for sweet for the sweet. How do I know that I'm tired for every single laceration? I'm sorry. She's tired of heart. Like a woman, you get that. The carrying alcohol nefesh, you know. And what the Torah says, the seventh nefesh. Every person who you lacerate for, even if it's one laceration for 5 people, the side effect is incredible. What's up? Not fixate into the base social level.
It's like being like,
Yes,
hey,
the
take a left in
nefesh
the
is
center
like
of
not
right.
fixing the base social level. Is just a moment. 1 second. You
Maybe
just
that's why I'm
use
so
that.
mad all
You
the
just
time.
use the nefesh to teach you the plot. That is only liability if you lacerate as a display of where to there. But to exclude the fact that let's say somebody's wondering whether they lost the boat or they lost the boat, like lost finances. Ultimately, again, we just use the nefesh to teach you that I'm not tired for laceration of the financial loss. Happening is that we don't have a father. Continua, lei pensava di non si suito il diviso apasi, e su passano su giusti cose, so let me again, but I want to point out is as follows. The Torah uses two expressions of the
Always so much fun.
Decide when I have to move and move to slow the so we send out an ability as to what these things mean. When you see holes, move to slow the and Sarah Banafas are the same thing. They both refer to laceration. So you can't just refer to lacerations and both of them discuss that. So one of them ultimately again to be used for teaching. I'm tired for every single dead person I lacerate. Or even if it's one laceration over five times. And the other one is and only tie the laceration because it displays warning for the gift. I love the mindset again, it's a display of warning for financial loss. There's not good liability. I get what's our liability. This is the person ever engaged in any kind of engagement. It's not the moment after. So you need the violation of that. Say, the non-violation of this. It's not involved. I was precisely higher.
You're a horny dude.
Which means the small says, if you vaccinate yourself,
last week that you broke up with your girlfriend, and
if
here
you
we are
cancel,
tonight.
it is a liability. So the mother says over here, if you notice this comes out last week, comes out inside the big fire.
Also, our favorite
She
kind of
said, for the
winter
unlocated,
time, that's when you would
the
wear.
sweet,
Sometimes
much
you wear
of the
a coat as
so
well.
this is no
Depends
interface.
on
So
what he
it
was
was
into
that
that
person
point.
before they look at the beauty, a little bit
Oh,
more
here
focus.
and
Exactly.
Red Man did a shot of Screwball peanut butter whiskey before
What's
the show,
interesting is
so
that she's playing
anything
out
can
over
happen
here.
here.
But it could have got over here. The distinction was not as much about the look lacerations. That was the distinction made long is how the laceration is formed. That she points out over here that the Buddha has an influence of being done with the utensil, and Srika has an influence of being done by Yad. Short comes when he says, inside the Buddha, where the passion is, they Srika would be the Alpha Srika. Srika would be the same thing. They both refer to laceration one of the days. However, so Srika, the Yad, is the Buddha, the priest, and Srika is done by hand, and the Buddha is done with the utensil. You know, the Zika with the Yoshi, ultimately, the Yoshi, the Yoshi, and the Yoshi. Maybe the outcome of the three targets are inside. So if it's listening to this, then couple for the following idea. If you lacerated over the dead, whether that laceration was done by hand or that laceration was done with an utensil, there's biblical liability. Okay, that's very important to understand. All that's still having. What happens if one lacerates themselves as a form of worship for our Bodhisattva? So let's start with that. The key concept. Ultimately, if you vaccinate by hand, you try it, if you vaccinate by clean your concept, I said to do not the opposite policy, but you learn just the opposite. In the concept, what does it say in the concept? By exposing, finish my tongue, the high voice of the Moroccan. Concept that we were playing is concept from Moroccan time. It talks about idolatry, and it says that they were lacerating themselves in accordance with the laws of the idolatry, with swords and with spears. There's something for idolatry, they were going ahead and lacerating. They were lacerating. This Elohim of beyond Potter, which is guided by the Bodhisattva. Of course, it's interesting. It's a distinction spiritual here. By Bodhisattva, if you lacerate by hand, you are Potter. By clean, you are Chayiv. What's the logic over there? What's the logic over there? By Bodhisattva, only may be Chayiv for laceration if it's done in the normal form of worship. If you do something normal, it looks like, don't you know how it works by Bodhisattva? No, of course not. Right? Right? So how does it go by Bodhisattva? By Bodhisattva, you only try it if you worship the idol in a quote-unquote normative way. Now, there are certain forms of worship that will only be like frustration is always prohibited, right? Kneeling is always prohibited. Carbonos are always prohibited, right? Offerings, libations, things like that that are quote-unquote normal forms of worship. Even if you have Bodhisattva that worship in that way, you're still liable for that. But then when you have unique practices, right? So unique practices only the way we have Bodhisattva practice, laceration is not a way that normally you worship for God. That's why by Bodhisattva is actually with the food. With the food going to be fine, but the God is going to be potter. When it comes to laceration as a point of a normal practice, you try to bring beyond being discreet. Doesn't make a difference whether you bring it your own utensil or your liability. Next. You always find ultimately again for creating both fronts on that. So not the action check, they yourself. So change this one. Now the photograph over here, again, that's also case as well. By the temples. Now, Zaka is Stein, the Achas Munach. You mentioned before by the heels. two spots, like two temples, two
autistic for
jawbones,
those of you that
and
can't tell.
a cheek,
Brilliantly
and
hilarious.
chin,
That doesn't mean he's
and a
not
chin. That's the
autistic.
areas
He's
of
super
liability for
autistic,
destructive
especially off
shading.
stage.
So you know what it says?
You do anything so that people understand you do anything extra autistic recently.
Again,
Autistic, I played sellers in Japan and $120 from my bros real bad. Like I beat them in a game of Fit and to like
Eliezer said, "Enough one cooling for us in the fire of
what did I do? I went to like this show
five
and I
spots
hung
on
out
the
with the
green
guys
oil. So
afterwards
it's
and it was like,
to go ahead and to destroy the two temples, the two jawbones, and the trailways. So that could be that
people
that
and
could
I'm
be
like
that
in a band.
so you put it on your fingers, and you go and you
Really,
touch
you
all
know,
five spots
I've
at the
seen
same
it many
time.
times.
So the Eliezer said, you only hide once. Only
That
hide
was
once.
interesting. You
That's
just said
why
that
he's not, you know, it says.
self-proclaimed
Cassava
atheist. I
has
think we need to start
he
with
was
I
all
want
five
to
stars
start
because
with
they
Jesus is real.
one life.
I'm worried
But
about
it was
yourself.
actually
You
very
have
high,
those
and his only liability to the
jokes. I
Let's
was
remember
preaching
again,
saying
the issue of
lay
fear
off
is
that
not
shit.
for shaping as much as it is destruction. So that's why, again, divine understands over here,
When you
it's
go to
not
church,
just
will
shaping
you?
with a
You start
razor,
going to church
but
for
it's
free.
considered
Be a
to be
podcast.
destructive shaping,
Yeah,
and
we do a
that's where we are
podcast.
being biblical liability. So
Good church. I love that. But I just
it's
I know science is pretty like
you shall not
convincing.
shave. And you got read for the website, there's a lesson of shaving.
The
You
man
have
that
to
made his
do from the
friends
side.
yesterday,
You
and he gave him
even
the
I shave with scissors. And that's
I'm
not the
gonna
type
take
of
so
shaving
much
scissors.
advice.
Obviously, you have to use
Another
scissors,
amazing
right?
performance
So I'm
here.
going to
You're
try
an
to get
absolute
that's the
bloody
idea.
murder. We
But
all
this
love
is
you.
what
Thank
this
you
is
so much. See you next
shaving.
Monday. The
And
great
how
Hans
often
Scam,
I said,
everybody.
should you guys even if I
All
say
right, now I'm gonna pull the name out of the bucket. This is where anything can happen. Perhaps you signed up tonight. Perhaps it's someone's first time. Perhaps, no matter what, it's someone that either really wants to or really regrets signing up for the show. So it's always exciting. It begins now as I pull out the first name, which is Stephen Hairston. Stephen Hairston is the first comedian
you
tonight.
shall not
On Tell Tony, here he
the
comes,
colors
everyone.
of your beard. A second passage says, second about there's actually two parts
Come on, everybody. Put your hands together for Stephen Hairston.
So there's two prohibitions. There's don't go
What's going on, everybody?
ahead and shave your beard
Hey, so
and
y'all
don't
heard of
destroy
saying
your
drunk
beard.
is a skunk,
So
right?
again, based on the law that says you can shave your beard, I would have said even
You ever smelled
species
skunk?
should be
That motherfucker
problematic.
just took a fat
Down
ass
low
dog
mark,
rip
no
right in
sexuals.
your backyard.
Therefore, it's already
That
said
motherfucker
don't
smells like
destroy
weed
your beard. Don't
all the
destroy
time.
only a type of shaving that is
Damn,
destructive in
fucking.
nature. Even sexuals. Therefore, in looking for the lucky green honey height, I'm going to qualify that surface as like expression of
What's up
flame
with
in my
light
beard,
beer?
right?
It
Took
weighs
a
just the same
flame
amount as
and
every other
flame
beer,
my
so
beard. I would have thought that
that's
I would be
just
tired for
crazy,
that.
man.
So much to come over, and then you got it, you know, your own type of shaving. So what's this? You got to use that here. Because sometimes discussing what type of shaving is a biblical liability for? It's a type of normative shaving that is destructive. What type of normative shaving that is destructive? On pizza, you watch cheese wash, what's the type of shaving that is destructive? So when we say destructive, the type of shaving that like obliterates the facial.
Here we go. That was
What
60
is the type of
seconds.
shaving that obliterates the social on the surface? The surface of
Stephen
the face,
Hairston,
the
this is
red
a
cells,
very
I know
special
that.
look you have,
That's
Stephen.
that's a laser.
You look like
That's a
Cabbage
laser. So
Patch
once I
Kid
said,
Rock.
if the interplay between these two methods on one end, Pasikalam
You look like you should be looking for
you
Brian
can't shave your
Laundrie
beard,
right
it shows
now.
everything. But then it says Pasikalam,
Hey,
no
Tony.
section.
His clip,
So
he
you
looks
all
good, dude.
destructive in the that's
Trying to
destructive
start
in
an
nature.
insurrection up in
Amazing.
here.
Incredible. When you look at that, you
Why are you dressed like that? Why are you wearing a bulletproof
just like
vest?
you complain. Like
Bulletproof
you
vest
complain.
don't
To
protect
go
against
ahead
bombing. I
and
don't know if
shave
you know
what you should
that.
be tired.
That would be a bomb
Not a
suit.
shot. Not a shot. So you guys understand how you see a lot of that.
Bomb suit.
You come at zero shot up,
Ladies
big
and
body cat.
gentlemen, with a bit
You
more
don't
of
need
a
a zero shot inspired. I
love it,
don't
though.
understand.
It's good. That was
It's what your answer is
what's
sex in
going
the
on.
Dutch
You're trying
and
to
just
help
with
Joe Rogan. What do you think was happening?
zero shot
Why
up.
are you not like, is this your new look? You going around t-shirts like this?
It's
So
not
one night,
just
like,
up
what's
and
going on?
you it's in the ears
Play video games.
if it doesn't accept, these rushes. Then again, any form of shaping should be prohibited as well, including scissors, which, like I said, we always done is Shava. Because Shava Hanyam Gula. Because the Lord accepted their Shava. We just made it before. And we often hold that shading with a flame is considered to be a normative act of shading as well. Which will also have a flame was conceptually, it's the concept, like conceptually what is it? It's shading with a normative shading. It's the same idea. So that is exactly what I think. So we have first considered to be a normative act of shading, which conceptually is on the same page. It is any type of shading, but ultimately again results in a process. So again, it's the normative act of shading. But that is destructive. That's definition of destructive. Destructive means to totally smooth out the face. There's no almost like no active movement of facial hair. There, I want to also that be a biblically prohibited act of shading. So, I would say, fascinating. That's the right tradition. Hakosi Sivas Kakos. Tattooing. This is incredible. We're going from shading to tattooing. A lot going on. Hakosi Sivas Kakos. So there's a person goes out and tattoos themselves. So that's the biblical expression for tattoos, Sivas Kakos. Now, Rashi puts out there and say, what is the etymology of this expression? What is everyone? Look at Rashi. Rashi's in the white line, third line, Sivas Kakos. Ozi Kila Abisar, Abisar, Abbasar, the Mahat. Or the second, the Nisras Hatsada being or Yabasar, the Niyabo Koyami Haka, the Asher Nikta Shakespeare or Yabasar. First of all, this is fascinating. Apparently, Rashi understands that this is a focus of well. How do they do tattooing? The things I'm following you. You first draw something on your skin by rubbing it. After what they would do is, so the ink would be there, whatever it is. Then they put the skin afterwards, and the ink would seep in and form a permanent image on the skin. So it's interesting because there is a ridging network. So when I say ridging, that is not, there's no texture there. Ridging network just as to whether or not the order matters in this particular condition. So the way to see the structure of the here is ink first, clicking or perforation or incision, right? Incision on the skin itself. And that's what actually saying. So you have the image of the ice, then they would go out and click the skin, and then the ink, the image would seep in. I don't know. I use a tattoo color release. I don't know how modern tattooing works. Very complimentary, quite fascinating. So that's how it goes. And again, looking at it from Russia, so that means lighting. Kakos means cooking. I don't know if that's any word, but things like the preparation of the skin. That's the preparation. And that's how interestingly enough, Rashi even understands that just the biblical expression itself, you begin to see the order. First the lighting, and then ultimately again the preparation of the fractions. That's what's in the show. Hakosi Sivas Kakos. So it says a person who's going to tattoos themselves, Kasa, below Kaka, below Kasa. So let's say you just write on your skin, right? So you know, your person is going to have tattoos. Right? You know whatever, you get like tape on your skin or a stamp on your skin. So that's not the biblical prohibition. That's the biblical prohibition. And I don't know that Jews should do that. That's why it's not the biblical prohibition. Kasa below Kaka, or Kaka below Kasa, or ultimately again, or if you prick the skin, but you're not right. So in all of these cases, in a time, actually, you can't pay up the other. Right? The only rival, obviously, tattooing, which we shouldn't want to know. So if a person wants to tattoo themselves, but it's just an image that sits on top of the skin. Right? There's no preparation of the flesh. That's not the biblical prohibition. The biblical prohibition is only if it's ink, and then again, preparation of the skin. So you know, it says, furthermore, with the top only before going to lotion. Furthermore, there's only biblical prohibition of tattooing if you use dye or ink of permanence. Right? If it's non-permanent, if it's not permanent, then there's no biblical prohibition. You shouldn't, when you use ובשום בן יהודי משום בשום אומר, אם אחד השליטו שם אז השם, שנאמר סובס תקו, לא תקנו לכם עניישם. So this is very interesting. Now, the English means and what it actually means. The way it reads right now, but it sounds like it, the Shem is saying that Halacha L'Maisa, you're only trying if you write the name of Hashem as a tattoo. So you decide, right? You decide, right? And people get inspired in one of your other kinds of things, right? Shavisa Hashem, and then you summon, if you would quite literally, or just put a big UK buff there on my arm, right? But yeah, so now it sounds like the Shem is saying that's the biblical tradition.
It's good. You had a good idea. The main joke would have been funny. You're just like, if you created a baby, is that how you make baby porn? Like, you had a good idea, but you took you like 45 seconds to get to.
So essentially, what it is like
Like, actually, you can't really do it quite much, right?
Number one, think on the flesh, then again, a picking or separation of the skin to allow the thing to be absorbed within the flesh, and use some type of cleaning dye for it, right? And then to the ship. Fourth criteria, the biblical publishment tattoo only apply to the tattoo meaning of God on your body. Sense you know. I'm going to back up with the other actions. I've used Ani Hashem Mamash. So that is the other thing that actually is it all the same? That literally again do not tie it into your literally like Ani Hashem, but it's the left Hashem of the past. It's service Hakalo Kudubaka. Sounded good, it's very interesting. Sounded to me that the rest is really possible like this. It's service Hakalo Kudubaka. You shall not tattoo yourself. What's the thing you do for the tattoo that you can't on your body? Ani Hashem. You can't tattoo on your body Ani Hashem. So the Lord says that. Is that what the Lord is saying? So the Lord says, I'm going to let you know. I'm telling you about that, but in your time, actually, so shame avodas kocholim. Yashem. It's just the opposite. Actually, the reason like this, the biblical prohibition is to tattoo the name of idolatry on your body. That's the biblical prohibition. It's so that's not from a people that Ani Hashem. Don't tattoo the name of another God on your body. Ani Hashem v'lo achar. Because I am Hashem and no one else. I want to say that the reason you have to ask me is that Halacha L'Maisa, the biblical publishment tattooing is whatever you're tattooing. It doesn't really matter what you're tattooing. The only issue is if you tattoo the name of God on your body, you have bigger issues. And so bigger issues that come in, like talking into that, right? Your dad's tattoo on color. Or you gotta say the biblical publishment really applies to all forms of tattoo. You know, like that. I'll see what the other. So this is very interesting. So this is actually quite interesting. Now that we've established that really any form of tattoo is problematic, we're not here satisfied. Because they cannot put Ikan Makra. What's the Ikan Makra is ash. Now what you need to do is if you set a fire, right, and then again, at the end of the fire you have like soot. So how do you feel that soot? So if you have a open moon, it was coming to go ahead and take that soot on your moon. So you have a mountain from the name which says you can't do that. You have to do that. The Shemiras so that's Taka. The Shemiras should operate when the moon would heal the residual soot would still be there. And it would look like a tattoo. On the mountain in the Rika, shoot. So you ask, what's the section of Mount Gia? Now, if you want to just answer this, there are two different Rabbanim. One is of Mount Gia, and one is of Mount Gia. So you want to just pause it here just to say people often get them confused. I'm going to tell you what the Mount Gia said and what the Mount Gia said. Two different opinions, two different people. So watch this. So you know what it says? I'm not going to show. Big Shibud, Shvachos, the Dimos, and Mount Gia. And all there was the opinion that said Shibud. Now actually turns out all of these cases, Shibud actually said most of it's in one way. In the white lines about the 2, 4, 6, 8, not the line Shibud. The very being started, she could some of the box last was helpful. I got some days, let me put the cameras on this. If you have a stick, that is used to make also if the other is on the Shabbos or on the back, you know, it's still on Shabbos. But before Shabbos or it was still on Yom Tov, that stick becomes more so after it's used. disgrace, right? It's unclean, so therefore it becomes mixed. That was one halacha. Next, shvachos, so let's discuss and look at that sheet. Mishnah, the Barak HaChatim, so the Lord of Allah, please allow me. There's no way to so get in such scenarios. It's not like the obligations that a wife has in her household. So there's an inspection. What happens if a wife brings in a domestic staff? So again, the more domestic staff she brings in, the less personal responsibility that she has. So the Malki is of the opinion. So now, if you're of the opinion that even if she has a whole domestic staff, it's important for a person to be busy because idleness leads a person to all types of negative behaviors. That's piece of shvachos. And Dunos, we were here, the media of the Boston, so there's a Dunos was normally existence of two pretty pairs, and it's a monster with other pairs. So Malki is of the opinion that giving two points represents is enough, is the best, is enough, is the monster of a Boston. The use of two pretty pairs that are there, but they just fell out. Because those are the pieces of a Malki, right? She put shvachos Dunos. Below this, there's a piece of below this, that's the very medium, the Avodah Zarah. So already performing in Israel, the concourse is the lowest was their haircut design. It was you grow out like a long strand of hair, like a ponytail. But it wasn't like a ponytail with a dress, it was just like one strip of hair that you would just see grown out long. What I said, this was a form of idol worship as well, because the Jews were associated with the Avodah Zarah. So if you were a Jewish farmer, and it comes out to it says, you know what, give me the legs, let's give me your legs below this. So that was the allowed to do that. Now the gap which also can't cut within a certain area of the below this as well. There's actually below this. See the Jewish barber. How do you get over below this? If a makra, and also that's our case. If a makra is normally if a makra is our case. If you have an open wound, you can't use the soot to go ahead and use it as like a medicinal salve, because it'll leave a permanent mark after it, and it looks like tattooing. And the last case was Vina. The Vina is that you can't use the cheese of non-Jews. Like the Vina chocolate. Rashi points out over here, the Vina is not the Vina, meaning the definition of the Vina's case for nicely. The guys is not my kind of not yet, but Adam is very sure not leaking. And that there's one special that cheeses of non-Jews often made of sheer and made of paper with different forms of animal. Okay, so point of view of us is of not pure and is of not pure. And the not pure is pretty deep.
What's your story and strategy? Let's salvage your first time in your career. Newest standard.
And the mafia is glorious. I was
gonna say, you still haven't done stand up. Because that's what we call spoken brand. Anytime someone says loyalty 3 times in a set, it becomes brand. The process is
Schmeiß ist und alle wissen nicht, die Sprache der Mafia. Das Mafia,
literally so stupid. I couldn't stop myself as I started saying it.
Okay.
Hey, come on, it's loyalty, come on. Strategy. Why your name strategy? It doesn't seem like you have one.
I moved up with this center.
Well, we're going by names. The further give us 5 3 city on fag and everyone.
You're putting sick, even on his blood
My older brothers. Never let me forget exactly how gay I was as a little
even
boy.
cutting a little bit of soot there, he was not going to have to do it because it could go ahead and be the mark. Kamakum shoes, my casa, so what's it starting? Like you said,
Did you know
this
that
is all
Hans
people.
you know
The
Hans Pip
provisional
the father?
criteria is a provisional criteria. Every party that it is clear that what's being done on your body is for medicinal purposes, like for treatment purposes. There's no particular way once you have this, it still comes with chemotherapy, where there's sometimes is a residual, almost like a tumor that can happen as well. So I'm not going to say, so that's just that's not touching. That's not touching. That's clear that that was done for field purposes. Anything done for medicinal purposes is not the local prohibition of touching, and therefore I'm not going to say is if you have a personal wound and you want to put soot there, the residual, and it's still not a problem. Incredible Mishka, let's go. Those of us, we actually just had this Mishka yesterday. Those are check us on Colorado, and those of you drinking wine the whole day. You would have to be like that. I'm just saying. I have to be like that. Right? Imagine drinking wine the entire day. Every time you have a house, what's expensive? It's only tied once. And you only tied it once. I remember Akishka was show set, but it said, right, if you give them a straw, they say, don't drink those ones in between. They give them multiple straws, then what? High alcohol alcohol. They will be tied for every single individual alcohol. I mean, it's about 2 days in a row. And you know, they keep going, and sometimes it's just good happening right in that day. I don't know if this is the way it is, right? But I'm not saying it's very great today. So you have a lot of us, and there was a little completely past of ritual family is only going to be 5 words. I'm going to keep but the individual has struck each act, and it brings a family. I don't know apples to apples. Okay, same idea. How you think I'll react? So I know, let's say the Nazi again, they're shaving the whole day. And then the Nazi don't have to shave. And we're tired of apples. He's only tired of the time. On your way out to the but if they say to him again, don't shave, but you shave. That is apple process. You will never ultimately again for each individual act. How your love is to get your life on. If you're very thorough, really taking turns. Especially when you're trying to wear I'm wearing a jacket, I know it has shatness in it. Especially where it's flying the whole day, it will fight a lot of us. It's very tight boys. On the law, I'll tell bash, with the potion for living, tie up for office. If they find don't get shatness. And then something to Mishka, he takes it off and he puts it back on. Ultimately, again, he will be liable for every individual act of wearing shatness in the day. So that's what's very interesting. These holders are not the definition of a double blowjob. Sometimes you could plow one furrow and you labor for violating 8 ladders. Right? 1 furrow, 8 ladders. Then you get something good. Have whole age in the shoulder color. Nobody wants it. So right now, applying the accident boundary. So ready again? That's good with each other. But we now have to plow with 2 different animals. We are hooked up to 1 yoke. So shoulder color, that's number 1. Then the production, and they have each number 2. You should have these items for unconscious purposes. Kilayim Bakaran. And what I'm suggesting is, let's say again, we can do right? First, right next, let's do Shmiris, and it's a Shmir for young kid, and it's also young kid. Now I found young kid. Right, Kohen 6, the Nazir 7. So right, again, the base of Torah, and the red light. Right, the crown is taking place in a cemetery, and the guy is going ahead and flying is a Kohen and the Nazir. So that's ultimately you put all that together, and you get 8 associated with 1
like a 6-year-old that went through the soul machine.
It's showing, by the way, just interesting, just showing other things about how 1 act of crime ultimately can result in 8 distinct liabilities. And I even have to money about how rubbish tonight. I mean, I can make it 9. How can I make it 9? The guy who's clown is wearing shackles while he's clown. Right, so in addition to all the tongues that we have, we don't shackles. And we don't that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Why? Don't say that. The reason why that doesn't work is because if you piss out the shackles jacket, they're going to be able to clown. Right, whether you're trying to shut up for 1 after clown, you can violate 8 prohibitions associated with the clown. Throwing on a shackles jacket, say by the way, you're going to say, I can make those in my nose. Wow, he's clowning, he's shooting with the laser. Right? So again, or while he's clowning, he's having relations with a married woman. You know what I mean? You could throw
I would have been more happier if you
some
would have
people
said
can
which
multitask.
brothers
Yeah,
stats.
I just said, like, I'm just putting out of here. Like, you could throw in as many different coefficients, but that's not the point. The point of the kid is we want to show multiple coefficients associated with one outcome. So we have to throw it on, not to throw it on a shotgun bracket. That doesn't count. I'm a lad. What are you talking about? I'm a nursery level mission. But I don't know why you say that. You're saying that the guy is liable because he's a nursery. What does being a nursery have to do with power? So you are throwing on additional coefficients already. So if you're throwing additional coefficients, I'm going to throw additional coefficients as well. Okay, more background to do that. Let's focus on the shotgun station. I'm not being able to say, coefficients for luggage damage. I can do not wish the motif case that influence for us. So it's like, this is very interesting. In shotgun case, what's the shotgun case? Because let's just say, if I were to personally shotgun is about 4 days. Right? And you get one extra, so then what's the halacha? On why the works? Right? Because there's one after the other. So we're going to just defend it. The way in which the defend it was, right? If I say, I'll talk about the culture of rubbish type. The way in which the defend it was, if I win shotguns, right? And now I take it off, I put it on, and every time I take it off, they tell me, don't wear it, but I put it back on. Ultimately, again, it's like really fast. Well, you know, we're going to stop with this piece over here. We're going to pick up the rest of the fine. We are absolutely fine, right on target. And the back will only get much longer. So no, it's a straight up like that. Those types strap on top of it, but you know what, Alexis last case, give us Vinci ready for that.
Oh, this is interesting. It would be this guy's name. My DJ name would be. This guy's currently, well, we'll talk about it with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Pack is your next comedian. Trey Pack. DJ Pony. Here he is. This guy famously part of the weight loss challenge currently happening. Make some noise for Trey Pack, everyone.
We really haven't seen this since that. We haven't seen this since that. This thing where it's,
It is Girl Scout cookie season time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's here, y'all. Hell yeah. I tried to walk into the store today and they had them soldiers out there or whatever, the girls were out there. You guys laugh, but that's what they call themselves. The troops or whatever. The girls are out there, okay? And there's the troop mom that's talking to this little girl, right? The troop mom, she looks up, she sees me. She went back to the door, she said, big spender. Fuck that bitch, right? Jesus.
all of our times for sport. This morning shit. Thank you. I don't know
Here's
how
the
to
thing, I'm all for them teaching these little girls sales tactics, right? That's super cool.
the conversation today dedicated sharing our
I don't think you have to be so aggressive about it. I don't think you have to be like, hey, Cindy, there's a fucking whale in the water in front of me, a shark.
Hashem beautiful for birthdays, anniversaries,
Fucking
so
wolf of
all
Wall
around this
Street, bro. Just make it
whatever it
all
is,
okay?
Hashem, thank you to everyone. This is also messaging the way I get the message from the people you don't know the Yoko. Simple Hatzloko, it's always focused for her, and I just thought I'm going to actually show you
Using all of his time and then some extra. Very good,
Which
Trey.
one is it?
What
That's
is your
great.
favorite kind of cookie? That's what everybody wants to know.
Samoa is the only kind of
Okay. Hell yeah.
He's got Kathy, granddaughter, for Esther, and Bert's of his grandson. Yes,
It took you for more of a not so
thank you
thin
for
mint
this.
kind
This is
of
the
guy.
sponsorship, and it's supposed to see this for all our children. If you need to be the one that
Trey,
do this for all
that
the
was an unbelievable minute, by the way. Congratulations. That's really changing the tone here among first timers and
It's actually rested 29th of this
people you're something special. Remind us again how you got on stand up.
This is the land of free
Free from
not so
and now you live here. Yes, sir. What do you do for work?
you know, we're for security. I have protection for your safety.
Okay, that's you are for security on your
to adjust as for giving cheer yesterday. We have to put back the call. because I actually want to put Josh got a little too far for my liking. And on one day, so we're going to hold back. Ridiculous. So actually, I never jacked up to the last couple of months to Mace today. I just want to back it up just a little bit so you get to see the entire team. And the third wide line, it's 2, 4, 6 feet right now. Without a single figure. So I'm going to be actually open. Nicer shame is a high up on that. So that's when you're going to finish myself. If you're going to use nicer shame outside of you. So I mean, ultimately, where we get the markets. So I asked you what up. So from the other point, exactly is the liability for nicer shame. So this is actually fascinating tomorrow. But if you look really tomorrow, you actually have absolutely no idea that there is this stuff just when you see it. So watch this. You might say, outside of Yerushalayim. What does this mean? Because it actually says over here, look at actually 6 times over the bottom. This year, can have 4. Actually says over here, I shall say, we didn't know what you said. Yeah, you must listen, I know the after. And then the Mishnah said that you get Marcus for eating nicer shame outside of Yerushalayim. And what that means is, you got the nicer shame in, and then you took it out, and then consumed it outside of the world of Yerushalayim. Incredible. So you might say, again, the face of the school, you're saying what does it mean to nicer shame outside of Yerushalayim? What does it mean? I separated my straight methods, and I have 2 choices. Now I have 2 choices. Either we're going to go to Yerushalayim, or if you look at the money, you make each other spend about 3 Yerushalayim. Again, the assumption of let me say that if the being my friend, is being separating it out, and then again, I failed to bring it, I didn't, this is not, this is not. That's what happens. Those are the prohibition, ultimately, again, is when you bring it in, and when you bring it that's it, my time up. What is says, you know, what is my time down across, if you're actually a back up for 12 years, it says, it's sending you down, you shall see. Wherever the nicer shame has already been brought in front of the inside. That's what I actually said within the walls of Yerushalayim. And we know only once the nicer shame has come before God, i.e. in the walls of Yerushalayim, if we are conditioned to consume the nicer shame, we can do your own gates.
Skylines different. It's you know, they go to the one of it. You guys are trying to reclaim. That's what the cops show up and like, yeah, that's you know, it's the top yes, with their fucking neon and green and it's really like China is this guy's mouth. He immediately gets off. He put it just until the cops go, this fire's from my day. Like, what? They arrested him. I just seemed like crap. Like, they were fucking don't look like it's broken. Oh my god. And you saw it before, wasn't it broken? He claimed that broken. So, he could have been like an insurance claim situation, but he said, oh, wow, maybe that's what anybody would have really said. That shit cover is absolutely incredible. I'm on Troy. What do you think about this guy?
on the stem of the college. He's tucked off the bottom of the cake. Nice and shallow setup. He's doing something what we can do.
Trey, we did a thing last week. We weighed you in. You and Sam volunteered for weighing just out of the kindness of our hearts and a weight loss challenge because we pulled 2 obnoxiously fat people out of the bucket back to back on episode a couple weeks ago. It's been weeks since your weigh-in. Remind these people what you weighed in at.
Nice and shiny original, right? Nice and shiny in the side of Hollywood. The rich nice and shiny really shut out. And that's a good example.
And how do you think it's gone so far? Quite in this
different years of the Schmidt cycle. Just like for example, this piece over here, it was a nice and shiny year. And let's say the story was in the shut out. Or only my story, or to my story, it would be
I know I just stopped drinking like 2 liters of God damn.
Inside of each one, so the whole is really interesting, and essentially he designates all the different stimuluses. That's really trying to move the machine. So what's your side of now, look at the next set of locals. What's interestingly enough, even though he did everything, there was one prize that was not set for each was Choice Meister. Choice Meister, so because Choice Meister was not expensive, we were definitely getting markets. But the essential of Choice Meister, okay, is that shot, well, but the last one he can see. Liechtenstein, so because, so just understand, what is it talking about this side? Because the food still has the status of heaven. Remember, the status of heaven is only limited to 4 parts on the left. And you get one direct unmoved, so then the produce itself is still terrible, it's still best game this type. So therefore, the coin in this case is an excellent effort, you got almost everything. Because Choice Meister, as I said, one set of markets, and consuming for each level. If a non-coin is the non-coin will get 2 sets of markets, 1 set of markets. Number 1, Cabal. Number 2, That's what's fascinating. The coin went ahead, failed to take care of Choice Meister, so therefore it still has the status of so now when the non-point is this one could cover all the 2 and because of that, but any designation, the non-point is suited, one set of levels to cover. Okay, so this is we're focusing on the information what did you guys say? The coin is on that same side with the state, and is designating my name is so now you say each other. So you just know the reason why now when it goes that is not tight is because it's going to be shut out. But interestingly enough, I'm going out and thinking this state other than shut out and then consume it, no get shut out. Ultimately again, a lot more myself, a lot more serious guidance, 3 sets of markets, 1 for consumption of nice machine outside of each other. How about that, the last year, so there's a very good action just about that. Talking about skills, you see that if I did that last time, you know, actually, I was always going to have to do that. I'm going to change my next time. I'm going to change the schooling, look at Shabbos. So it's like, sit there and just Shabbos. The reason why this is good is instead of all this stuff, this is because for my sushi, is consuming it into the Shabbos. Even if it's on this way of this, let's say again, how to get a nice sushi here, how to get a nice sushi here. And all of this is happening outside of the Shabbos. There will be 3 sets of markets. My wife 3 sets of markets, let's go with this out. Number 1, 4, cut off, then 2, 4, 1, and 3 for nice sushi out of the Shabbos. What are you seeing there? What are you seeing there? that there is a visible prohibition for nicer shaming, even if the nicer shaming never came into each other. So this is a serious condition. But you could say the only time you are liable for biblical rights to go from the biblically liable for consumption of nicer shit, even in Yerushalayim, to the Salt Lake City, Jesus Christ. The piece that you really want to say that is that's why exactly Marcus for that Marcus not playing this out with Marcus for that. It's interesting. What are Iranians like? No, is it? I guess I don't want to keep it here. What else? What would you want? Latino adjacent, so it's like Mexican consumption. Not as close to shaking and it was like that kind of close. What music do you like to listen to? Mostly like just like at least oh, okay. Do you have any favorite Middle Eastern artists coming up, like Keith Turban or anything like that? So what's the lighting guy on that one, huh? So you do a little Middle Eastern dance for us? How do you think we should do? Have this guy do a little dance? Here it is. It's cool. Do you dance? Do you know how to dance? What do you want to do? Let's have you do something. You want to do like a magic trick or anything like that? He's also very serious. Oh shit, dude, they want it. Oh, the lighting guy said on it. You can basically do anything right now. The crowd will go wild. It's not Egyptian at all. I love it. You close to your parents, what do they say about you doing stand-up comedy? What's the longest time? Look at that. Unbelievable. Here, let's take a joke on Arash Tajiri, everybody. Very exciting. He's got a real stand-up gig out of it. William, how do you feel about that guy? I know you're not big on that. I think he could have just stopped the set at the beginning, especially I moved here in 2001, but I was like, oh, there's more. It's true.
Much like the World Trade Center split because of those types of people. Gabe K is the next Canadian here on Kill Tony. Gabe K, live in Austin, Texas. Here he is.
Super Russian. My dad was a pastor. His dad was a pastor. I was actually a pastor. And gone slightly different direction since then. So I don't have a lot of fun memories of that time. But one thing that was a lot of fun from being a pastor's kid in these church girls. Listen, if you never had rushed paranoid, guilt-ridden banjo back with you on Wednesday night, you missed out, my friend. And if you were any kind of bad guy, it became like their own personal fight. And to put your soul in danger, then answer the shit that they do. Listen, until you had a girl suck your dick like you were salvation for the world, you haven't lived. It's a real complicated
Gabe K, talking about Christianity. All of it makes sense. You look like fat Jesus. You look like the crucifix wouldn't be able to hold you up there. The only holes in your hands have been donuts. You look like you turned everything into bread and wine. Were you gonna get me back? Is that what I noticed? It looked like you were loading up for one. Oh, okay, you got one on me. Come on, you better just let her there. Go down. Melody's pumping, you faggot. Come on.
son of a bitch. You look like that frat boy character from the early 2000s that would beat up the gay kid.
I look like a frat boy, and you look like a fat boy. What are we doing here? You know what? You don't want to try to roast me back. You don't roast me back. You can't do that. Look, if D-Madness is leaving now, it's disappointing.
I'm fucking D-Madness.
He thinks the show's over. Bye, D-Madness. Alright, Game K, remind us all, you've been doing stand-up for how long? 2 years old, been here in Austin, Texas? Moved here? Yeah, what am I, a couch? Wait for a second. San Jose. But now you live here. Right. With your, you still, you were having you were in a, you and your wife, what a lady, enjoying your relationship.
Yeah, we broke it up.
Wow, look at you. I didn't realize this is like the new thing. Disgusting is the new pod or something like that. I can't believe that there's girls just lining up. What do you have of you?
Like, is this like a Craigslist thing, or is this like a JCPenney?
Oh yeah, what is it? Fucking, what is it? Really? And there's 3 in the word fun. And you can, like, threesomes. And you ever gotten, I have to ask, I know everyone knows what's going with this, but we all learned about the double blowjob for the first time.
Yeah, it's good shit.
What do you know about it? Like, can you even see them when they're doing it? Doesn't it just look like no selfie stick out there?
So again, in the future, so what we should like drop this place. In fact, because how does this could allow for the subsequent redemption of that message?
How do you, okay, 2 years at stand-up comedy, so how are you making money doing it?
La folga rajsa, the kids are looking up to Java. So this is very interesting. So that is a really good typical collections going on over there. There's a lot of that once police enters into once police enters into the scenario, so my society can no longer be perceived outside the show. That is a dream dollars. That's a dream dollars. The idea that once my society comes into the scenario, it can no longer be a dream of the money. That's a dream dollars. That's it. That's a dream dollars. Okay, and therefore again, Bravo wants to be the comment ultimately again between.
I
there's two separate halachas. The Gemara says she goes Rabbanan, and when Rabbanan goes out, the Gemara says only when halacha the Meiser Sheni itself is actively designated. However, the Gemara says I'm sorry, if he goes Rabbanan, the Kidlay goes Rabbanan. However, again, the produce itself is the Kava, ultimately again Rabbanan falls in that, and that's how you explain the Shur's position. So they say there's agreement, they say technically agree that even my Hanos shall according to me shall only but even though you are not yet actively separated, the Meiser Sheni is as if it's been separated. And therefore, I'm not for myself. Once that produce enters into Yerushalayim, you can no longer consume that Meiser Sheni outside of Yerushalayim. But you are still allowed to give it out to money. Why? Because the concept that being in the framework prevents the consumption, that's the Rabbanan. And the Rabbanan only goes right up in the case of the Meiser Sheni itself is itself. But the Meiser Sheni is not being designated. So in the additional obligation does not touch that. Fascinating. So now the Rabbanan means if the life to go, enough. Kidlay Bekanya, those existing. What Dina said, no, that's the case. The two said, we have a high Meiser Sheni, and I'm not carrying it, so yes, there's that. I'm not carrying it, on a stick, I should have it, let's see, you have a stick, you have like a little tackle tied on the end of the stick. Right? And what happens when I walk into Yerushalayim, and again, but my tackle is outside of Yerushalayim. I think that's outside of Yerushalayim. So you remember the Moshe Rabbeinu says, what's that up on that face? The reference since you are person entered into Yerushalayim is considered to be as if what? As if the Meiser Sheni entered into Yerushalayim as well. Okay, fascinating. You mentioned by the way, once you do that, the question by the Papa, which will answer the question of the Papa, because the Papa knows had this exact question. Like what happens if the person enters into Yerushalayim, but the Papa like he's holding it again. When you're outside of Yerushalayim, so now we see what's by the Papa. When you enter Yerushalayim, your Papa enters Yerushalayim to you as well. Absolutely incredible. So what's about it? Just beautiful, like, just metaphorical significance that has. In general, as we go through life, all of us carry a Papa. Like, we do all a lot of stuff. Some of us, a lot of it, everyone in life carries baggage. Some people just have to carry on. Some people have that higher report, those big things, like you stuff all this stuff. But we all have it. The interesting part about people and their baggage is that we often try not to deal with it. But we often try not to deal with it. The imagery of carrying your pack and matching your arms and on a stick is standing behind you. Definitely metaphorical for people that would be wanting to have that baggage. So people are looking at so that's beautiful. It's funny the Meiser studies on the Meiser's, once the whole China is, if you enter into Yerushalayim, your body's in Yerushalayim, does your tackle come with you? Sometimes it seems to be that I love the mention yesterday, once the person enters into Yerushalayim, your tackle comes with you as well. So it gives us a good, beautiful anticipation for the future. We will come in there all into Yerushalayim. We will come in Shia Maris, Shia Shem, we will come. What's the most beautiful part about Mashiach? The most beautiful part about entering Yerushalayim is that Mashiach doesn't just take care of your body. He doesn't just take care of your book. And in Hashem, all the baggage comes with you also. Whatever the baggage there is, whatever difficulties there are, whatever challenges there are as well, once you enter into Yerushalayim and Hashem, all the kashrah come along with you. And just as you are up entering into Yerushalayim, all of that baggage gets
say yes, Queen, after checking these pictures.
So let's go back to the halacha. This is how you pass it, because this is big stuff. And so first of all, in general, we would set this precept about Meiser Sheni. So first of all, what I'm not asking is, the real first Meiser Sheni, halacha v'al. So the one that's very interesting is this, in the local Torah, actually,
Very exciting.
This is how he passed it. He passed it on a local level. So there isn't a typical prohibition for Meiser Sheni consumption, unless of course Meiser Sheni came into Yerushalayim first and was then removed. So this after Yerushalayim, this undefined. Everything we've known in Shas up until this point, we always thought that the way to myself, I'm a farmer. I designated my machine. I wanted two choices. Bring the produce to town, we do like one choice heavy on food, but if I eat that produce outside of Yerushalayim, that is false. That is false. Very passionate at Halakha, and I said, well, it is only biblical prohibition of commercial is brought in, and the law will be taken out now. There's a Rabbanan to consume ma'aseh outside of Yerushalayim, even if it has never come within the walls. That's Halakha when I say
What do you like to do for fun? You have a fun
Halakha
name,
when I
great
say
name,
what
wonder, I
about
imagine
my
you
ultimately again, none of us is this. It might be changed in question Shalai. I think it's like, let's say, change the black on the features. There's like, that says, my church, overall, say, she has to be strong, absolutely, right? He does the features, make it very head. I think the nice sugar features. So, says, the lady pastor, I love from the nice also, that says, is that the walls absorb nice sugar in the black on it. So, therefore, again, once you bring in nice sugar to Shalai, you are no longer, let's say you bring in produce, you are no longer allowed to do that produce on tomorrow. That is because in that way, if that is a thing that I've done, we've got all that shit is broken into the okay, incredible. I think it's a brand new Syria, and this is a fantastic Syria, the nicest Syria. There you go. First thing to do is literally again a bald spot on his head. Now, why is someone doing this? So it actually points out that here, second line, I remember again, we told you that there are two prohibitions for this. One for sorry, one for God. The idea was looking for Karka, and not to make a bald spot on the head. This was a mourning practice. People was going to lecture themselves, pull out hair from their head out of the mourning practice. So again, and that's very important because the biblical prohibition only occurs if one does this in the context of mourning. So again, one creates a bald spot and it's like pulls out his hair over mourning for the dead. That might be possible. Shaving off your face. Shaving off your face. It's a little is when you get friends the corners of your head. That match this pass is a tunnel, and when he destroys literally again the corners of his beard, we're going to see doing this refers to shooting with a laser. And again, I want to point out over here, these are different prohibitions. However, part of the show is back to a morning practice. Shaving off your face, not your class, going ahead and not the corners of your head, that has nothing to do with morning. Okay, or much as possible, destroying the corners of your beard, also nothing to do with morning. That's about sweet this is about that morning practice. This is for one who lacerates himself as a display of morning for the dead. Only if the other one is hyphens. So, sweet the Achas Achalishalism, or Kavich sweet as Harmonic. I'm very interested. Let's say a person went ahead and lacerated himself, one laceration.
Let's get that phone number from our friends here in
Yonkers. 5 lacerations over one person who died. One is fighting for every laceration. Again, more about that in the Stein is Stein. In general, rounding out the corners of the head, there's 2 pockets of liability. It actually points out that the head essentially is divided into 2. Right? So essentially, again, we're going into this more specifically, talking about shaving off of the hairs. So there's 2 distinct prohibitions, one for each pillar, one for each corner of the head. For the beard, Stein Mikan, the Achas Mikan. We will see all of this on the beard. There's essentially 5 areas of liability. One is by the temple, right? So what you get 2 temples on each side. The other is by the jawbone of the trees, and that's so 2, 4, and then the 5th is the chin. So again, those are the areas where one part destroys the hair on those areas, where there is difficult prohibition. Now you have the Ezra owner, and you feel Ta'achas in the fight Allahas. The Lord says, if somehow you need to go ahead and, let's say, destroy the hair all 5 places at once. Allah said, you will only be fighting once. The inner fight actually going to be hard, and this prohibition of destroying the hair, whether it's the face, right, or ultimately again on the beard, is with a razor. The razor, the Ezra owner tiny things to it. That's actually at least a clean down wood. It sounds excessively painful, right? But if you were to do that right with that type of instrument, I'm not going to mention that be the biblical prohibition as well. We're talking about arguments as definition. There's certainly a lot to unpack over here. So you know, tell about it. When you get to Carfa, so tell us that you shall not go and there was a simple
Rainy, how does that make you feel? You have a girlfriend, and by the looks of you, I think she has a girlfriend as well. That's very exciting.
when you get to Carfa Belotion, do not make a bald spot on your head.
Who has longer hair?
This is the kind of one you got. Do not go ahead and shave the corners of your beard or your salon or you should be salon. And do not make a lasso on your shoe on your body. That's like a what's the possible time problem, sir? Body matter not so okay. If you such a matter of the rest of the nation, your children to watch on your dog, notice the notation, heart of pain, areas, and numbers. So I'm going to see what is going to be used. So do it again. Do not make a bold spot between the legs. It's a simple issue issued by parents. Now, here we go. Says here, that a possible alcoholic is do not make a bold spot. So there's a yakalaki, karak out of the street house. Where you talk about apples, I know what to do to make 4 or 5 bold spots. Where you talk about this, what is happening. Therefore, the process says car from the similar to what? Let's tell you, I'll call car from the car. Every bond spot that you make out of money to get, ultimately, if it generates liability, direction, unread, not talking about why does that say direction, so there's an addition that am I low custodial, or low custodial car combination, since the body is low custodial, and do not go ahead and make a bald spot between your eyes for the dead, not when you kind of allow being a profile. I'm not going to do it liability because it will get between my eyes. Martin, the liability is colorless. I don't know that there's liability. So if you use a bald spot anywhere on the legs, and we'll go back to those shapes. Therefore, the process coming out. The levels colorless. Good liability. Easy out of the behind. Should leave up behind that possibility zero. Now again, I don't know that it's not wrong. Because I have a community quality or general have a lot of people, a lot of differences. That's what is liability. Which was in the sun, you know. I don't know what it is. So I'm not time car, and then I'm not long car. Says car over there, start over there. Not long side, I'll go just like over there, you highlight every bus stop. The high hours could be a thing anyway. The higher on the head, just like by between the eyes. At times, higher up the top of the car, but the higher hours can be like, beautiful. Okay, well, my love on this, and I was saying, we said before, you just need to see how the front of the both right? This beautiful prohibition is only if it's associated with the morning practice. My love on this, how come on this? Because so much is undocumented people. That's what I have. First of all, essentially anything is in trouble between the parts by the economy, the parts by the swell, and it comes out with trouble. So what is obligated upon that hair anywhere on the head, anywhere on the head. It's more so that you know, being unknown, obviously, wasn't talking about the pull out like eyebrows. They put eyebrows ultimately also as a display everywhere. So I'm trying to put the part anywhere on the head, but again, every part is its own difficult prohibition. And it's a really long go because you don't in order practice for the God. It says, how do you calculate people say you don't? So it's a really again, the Mishnah block on the issues with this, right? The Mishnah in the case ultimately again, that if a person goes ahead, goes ahead and does 5 ball spots at once, you can only try to
you really are weird like that.
what's the case anymore? I'm about to what's the case of 4 or 5 fast spots. Even if it's not that's that, it comes with fast spots. Except again, I'm making 4 or 5 ball spots successively. And each of them has their own straw, and each of them obviously stuff is individual liability for each of those. Our opposite is a father has straw, there was a in the case is 4 or 5 ball spots, for which there would be individual liability. So what's the case? If you're talking about, I do ball spots, I straw, ball spots, I straw, ball spots too. Obviously, there's going to be individual liability for those things. So again, if I look at myself, but I got straw. If it's one straw, right? One straw, and then it's 4 or 5 ball spots, I'm going to be tired once. yeah, the market price to individuals, meaning I would be high individually. That's not what it is. Leather Shahaya Shosa Yayin Kalayo.
In the bandana, right? What's going on there?
Right, so right, so the Nazir is not just looking at a time, he's always, right? So let me say, he's beating white the entire day. So that's not like, well, he's only going to be tired once. He's only going to be tired once. So the next is all right, on your wall, I'll push that, and if they kept giving you individual hospital, before every 5 million, don't do this, Kaya that's all that is the office. So you can get this easy from there. One hasra before multiple repeated acts only yields one liability. Multiple hasras before multiple acts yields individual liability. So what's the case of 4 or 5 qualified at both spots? So you might listen to this. Now, two thought, the stuff comes at the also to Yashar, but it's really the best at this is possible as a case. Because the guy took Yashar. Yashar comes out that Yashar,
Oh, wow.
Sam Shemisha Asasera, Asas Miller Shemisha Asasera before. So what happens? The piece of it is it gets a cream. I have it
What's your love life
he
like?
puts
What's
hair
going
in
on there?
between
You
on
are
5
a little bit
fingers.
nerdy.
And what does he do? He applies the 5 fingers to his head or that lens. So 5 individual acts, but done simultaneously. This could be a case for what I saw, it could be 5 individual libraries. The Hajjale Hasra, the whole Khad, the Khad, ultimately the Hasra, if you can't for each and every activity, the as you will see in the Sakas, and the Sakas, the name of Kodesh. So again, like the guy takes the cream of 5 fingers, puts the cream on his head, puts his fingers on his head at once. Starting on 8 instructions, the 8 because starting on 8 fingers, you have had that slot, and as well as well, you know, the thing that's half covered, might have the Khali, the Khali has so high, that's the same as high. So it's interesting, so essentially, over here, that one slot that is given before the 5 acts, that one slot devolves upon each of them, because there are 5 separate ball spots. So one slot working to devolve upon 5 individual acts, yielding 5 individual instances of liability. Okay, very much. By the way, the total shape like how much is the ball? How much is the ball? You pull it on there, you shoot up near the shoulder, you pull out in the hair, but you can see your scalp. Okay? But you have to understand the figure to listen to the one thing. It's going to learn punishment. I think when others say to be shooting me or show. Okay, so let's say some rods and you're from the focus for like some say for this, some say for that, to see the scalp. Oh, maybe we got happy. That figure but plus 6 million. Not focus for that. How do I do this? One says the size of the small level. The heart can look at the shooting. Other says this the needle to see the scalp. The heart can look at the shooting silos. And one says like 2 nose. 2 nose, that's the one spot. We each get the massive shooting silos. And the heart of the heart also. And when we move it, it says no, there's no position that says 2 nose. And instead inserts in there the size of a lumber. Size of a lumber. This seam, I don't know, the highest for this, and you can find that as well. So this is like to remember the walls of Saras. I don't know, I don't know anyone that used the mnemonic from Saras to remember anything. I guess I can use my well. Right? Of a Harris, which is a problematic discoloration of the size of the wrist. And a Mithia, which is a big building, which is not common as Karash. Okay. So as I said, I feel it's not focus. How much is your ball spot? How much is focus? So tell you, I know so what's very interesting. I know from all the Piazza of the Shabbos Kai. Listen, listen, how about for myself, if you go ahead and remove the scissors worth of hair on Shabbos, you're hired. And what are you hired for? You're hired for gozes. Like one of the things on the Locos is gozes. Gozes means shear. Shear is the act of removing any type of hair from a fish with yours. So first, how another example of this is the removal of wool from the sheep in order to create the curtains of the Mishnah. But again, the application of this could be a person literally like from his head on Shabbos. So I love that way for again. Now, technically, it's beautiful fuck out there. They're not the rest of the is going to have fun, right? Because the way that you're people. No idea. You can say, okay, so then you must just time. I know for all you guys will be Shabbos tired. If you look at scissors, work at hair on Shabbos, that is going to be liability. I was looking at what it is. How much does scissors work? I'm going to do that. Tears. I got hanging with her side. I got really lost there. The football spot is 2 hours. Right. But you know, the thing with her Shabbos. So just like by Shabbos, the sheer of prohibition is 2 hours. So to go for both spots, for cargo, it's 2 hours as well. Hanging on the other side of the horses. And also, a lot of people have the Shabbos hanging. Before you leave, a scissors work of hair on Shabbos with Harry. They can't remember what they are. How much is a scissors work? It's a good place to look at Shabbos in there. So you can see the work of hair. We're liable for that. But there's also an apas in the nation. The nation is even removal of the end hair. But also, that's pretty wild. Right? Now, again, what's the cause of the removal of 2 hairs? Remember, to look for Shabbos, in order to be in violation of the law, there has to be something of substance. There has to be something of substance. So, like, at least most basic unit of substantive type has to be reached. So, again, look at the first thing it says 2 hairs, but it also says in 1 day. Let's listen to this. The more you come down to the other, the more people are going to become shirts. Now, the fuck now, you're going to come and say, the only thing I have on Shabbos is if you're in the 2 hairs. With one exception. If a person is back for removing white hairs, right, so for removing white hairs, even the removal of one white hair will be on the locker because that is a significant act.
What did I say about you back then? Do you remember any of the things that I made fun of you about? Did I tell you that you look like the coolest John Benet Ramsey?
That's the removal of one hair is significant. But again, when one is actively weeding out white hairs, then again, even the removal of one hair is considered to be a significant act, and there will be Shabbos liability for that as well. Now, by the way, the brother Zach, who you become us, for a man, the removal of white hair is going to be the even the removal. Why? Because the Shema, lo yebash geder sinlas isha. Because the passage says, the man is not permitted to wear a woman's clothing. Now, this prohibition of cross-dressing, like this prohibition of wearing women's clothing, doesn't just refer to clothing, but it puts the fact that a man is not permitted to engage in any practice that is uniquely feminine. This would refer to us as shaving hair or certain parts of the body that men don't normally do, that women might do. Or, for that matter, pulling out white hairs, which is considered to be an act that women do, or men do, or by extension, by the way, coloring hair. Like coloring hair, which is a practice, a feminine practice, again, it's been discussed in the posting about whether there is a prohibition for men to engage in that as well. Different discussion, but the point of it is no seems to clearly say that I want to mention the removal of a white hair is a feminine practice, and therefore again, I'm not correct. It's interesting enough, on Shabbos is going to be prohibited because I want to mention the removal of one white hair is significant. And even though we can be completely ultimately out seriously. I can say, so my conference in the car, check when we come here tomorrow. Excellent. So I can have that call somebody else as well.
That was beautiful. Very Shakespearean. 4 years? 4 years? Okay, what do you do for work? This and this. Come on, what are you people lying about? I'm really not. You make a living doing stand-up comedy. I do. I'm still living off of government. Fun employment. That's the end. No, I walk dogs. I do. I take care of some animals. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm a comedian. How long have you been doing that for? A few months. I've only been in Austin for 4 or 5 months now. Okay. Yeah. What do you love about Austin? Well, essentially, I'm back home in my home state, so that's nice. I see family from time to time, and I don't know, just different change. I lived in Mexico last year. It was like California. Oh wow, Mexico. How was that? I could do comedy down there, so that was a bonus. Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't give a shit. It's kind of like Texas. I never did it. So it was just normal life down there the whole time? It was, yeah. Big day in my life was like going to Costco. And they thought I was Miley Cyrus down there. You put a cowboy hat on and pigtails, and I go, Smiley. What was your living situation in Mexico? You're unemployed, living off the government cheese. So when you have there your own castle or something like that? Yeah, kind of.
I was essentially a white maid living in Mexico, doing manual labor to migrant employees. You were cleaning up, you went to Mexico, and you were cleaning up meat for Mexican. No, Ukrainian family. It was very interesting. Runs like a eco-friendly retreat down in it's where this I picked a guy out of a lineup a couple days ago, and it was a bucket list item. What was that? What kind of lineup? No, sadly it wasn't.
Okay, so we'll pick up the last line of Woodcraft on the base.
A drunken motorcyclist hit my car and fled the scene. And took the license plates, not realizing they could run them in. And so the detective's going to be reaching out to me in a couple weeks. So we could have a lineup. I'm really excited. So CSI. And get there and just pictures. So it wasn't and I got on video, so I think the right guy did.
So he feels that that's the only ones
We could get out of the lineup, but
I know before they have the solution, and then only afterwards do somebody who are not quite each to have a series. She said, I really know. Once you got time of the time, the other owner, you couldn't trust them before you trust them. Let's say you have you couldn't partially, they're being carried partially over the threshold and partially still outside the threshold. The shuttle take those parts of the material that are still outside, and the material makes you more freedom. Because we said it's not, sorry, it's not actually doing the still would be closer, but it doesn't have the visa, so it's still considered fluid from that perspective. It's got the pin and those that are running across the threshold, everything can have this over there. They already are not treated like our country. So we see here that depending on once the food cross the threshold, would they have the fullness? And therefore we understand that we only want to see our connect. Okay. I'm going to say,
yes, he might be in the realm.
Discuss over the past couple of days. When the two parts, the two main parts of the bridge, is first going to be brought in place on the side of the valve, and they're also receiving shipping that needs to be wet with the mix of the fluid. So this is something I was like to do. I'm not going to have what is not the what is essential to the mixture of the fluid would be to go and place them next to the however, the reading of chicken, it's something that you're supposed to do as part of the mixture, but if it's not done, it doesn't invalidate all of the check them out. The other side, the other side is you bring a bright set that supports the lithium, right? Lithium runs the sources of the bright set over there. The lithium goes down two different ways for two different
So that you were there for your redemption. And you guys
we're not going to put all over us, so we're not going to put all of them, only going to quote these are things that
you guys think we should do one more out of the bucket? Just a quick one.
which is the name
Let's
of
get
the
a quick
story.
opener. Let's see what happens here.
Nothing Yahweh other my security is going to have
Really dig around here and try to find a good one. Here we go.
But nowadays we don't have
Swiggy.
that's still the microchips to be brought inside of the water line.
So last time you gotta do a big noise for Swiggy, everybody.
The grid of microchips will still exist. We still be able to bring it into shrine and eat it. That's why we do it happen. They do it for sweet night. They're really the pizza out of us. The floor is part of our smartphone. We might be sure it's out of us. We'll make it correct. Look at this. Their mixture of decor requires bringing it to a certain place. For decor, it's going to have to be right actually inside of this area. And that security also has a designated place that has to be brought, which is named inside the shrine. And since they both have this idea, this halacha, that they have to be brought to a specific place to be used, we make it correct. So, not before in the era of the It's just like the mitzvah of decor.
I'm like,
is
yo,
only
man,
going to
you
be
sales
known
first.
when
Already,
the
like, you should be
Midgard
like,
is.
oh, that's the best one to say. So you come to get it, you know, I'm always to get it. Like, shit, man,
We're
like,
only going to know
that
it
shit
when
never sell.
the base of Midgard is around. And at this point, when you smoke, so it's for granted that you found you understand for sure that you did this stuff before, you have to have a different. When Zimmer's later on, there's a question that I asked where that source is, but for now, the assumption is you learned it before, only know it when there's no difference. And you learn from the before to like the thing, it's also only when you know it when the difference is there.
What the fuck are you, dude?
So the man is not after all, that's what you need to bring down. But it can't necessarily learn straight before to my security, but there's a difference. Now at the before, it came ton muffins on, you get muffins on them, what are you doing? You gotta look back. So before has something that is a frequency. Right before, it can only be brought when you have, sorry, and before it requires triggering the blood out of the grass, and they will ruin and be knocking them on the grass. So you see that before has a stringency that like the case doesn't have, and therefore you can't learn that just because before requires the music to be, you know, promoted and great, that like the case has the same thing. You say that between the people, well, okay, fine, you can't learn it from before, but Kikurin will just do that, because Kikurin do not report, they don't have smart applications on certain Kikurin, and it isn't a required to go anything on the grass. You see Kikurin, you'll see that just like Kikurin only be brought when there is this initial to like Kikurin. Remember, so the most of them are Kikurin and knockout. But Kikurin have a stringency of their own that when they need to be placed next to in the grass. So see when Kikurin comes from the word Kikurin quote a little bit before you have there. The common law instead, so how do we learn out that we did like Kikurin that is only knowing when this makes us? So we say the alcalde of the castle. The says the alcalde of the castle of Amacola the station of them, and what is a list of what you can eat only in front of this river. Mass of the Gulfa, you are from Tarabu, but Flores and confidence of you see that both Maitokini and Before are included in the packet. And once the concept links them together, you can't then use the same function, the same formula that you had before, because the concept is showing us that there's a liquid. So we have more leeway in terms of connecting it. So even if there are certain differences, you get the concept now put them together. This is the one that you have to put the concept, connect them, and therefore just like before requires this midget to be standard, so too, like the K requires this midget to be standard. No, Marcus Martin. I'm sorry, now we're going to that's the funny book you write. Now we come with our who brought this originally to teach us that the beginning of the series was that enough of the right that we put enough of that category. We were talking about Master Cheney and before, but we brought it down for proof from the Kikurin, or to bring a proof to the Kikurin. I'm not going to take it up to that weird after that's essential, but the chicken is not essential. That's what it is. The interview stuff is the way the kids, they're not only facing Kikurin essential, but also using it. Then when you brought down the middle of a fucking fire, when you brought down, you tried to bring these Kikurin in as when you said, oh, the Kikurin is different because I'm not going to the next step is that. So maybe not only I'm not going to but also
He opened up his set by saying, swinging, and I leaned over to Red Man in the middle of it, and I said that he's going to say swinging after all of his punchlines. I didn't know you were only going to do one punchline.
the fact that the rights only right down that is really enough that is something that's differentiated on the game. So I'm not always enough to say.
I swear to God, it was easy.
Even if there's a opinions of Restream that Korea is not in the option of the field. He still holds that there's a mitzvah of Korea as a chicken. He doesn't hold that that's not part of the mitzvah. It's just that it's not an essential part. It's not a mitzvah famous of the game. Because when you do Siva Leka, mitzvah do that. So there still would be a mitzvah for all. This is the latest. And then the Bible should have said, mitzvah, it should have said, what's going to be good? There's an essential issue of halacha and a mitzvah of prayer, and both of those were similar mixes. The fact that it didn't mention the spiritual tickets at all shows that there's some other reason why the church was not put down the price, and not because they're not essential. So we still need to replicate. Rashi then just explains to us why she was like to not bring down anything about the three of the six months. Because while the hanacha placing down the Yisrael is uniform and consistent according to anyone who brings it to him, when in certain circumstances there is no mitzvah of pre-exception, mitzvah. The thing is, you could have up by again. Why? Because one of the tickets that need to be said with really good is, I said, look, Hashem promises that Hashem promises that Hashem promises to us, and again, doesn't have that meaning that traces all the way back. And then there's no much the other feeling takes it. So let's do it. So that's the reason why the Bible didn't bring down the discussion of Kriya, Christian and only the discussion of okay. So look at that now, but today the lecture we said is not going to be a spiritual picture. A few parts of the Bible. So we look at when the Bible tries to bring a proof of why you made the microphone that it needs to only be brought when there is a difference. So first, we try from before, unsuccessfully, then we try from between unsuccessfully, and then we want to percept the happiness from the heart. So look, our usual pattern is we thought we thought to improve from X, and we get the bucket. We say, okay, what about you? You just do this. What's the next logical step? Because the money comes down. Okay, let's try to bring A and B together. That's the Machado Travis.
Why do you say she's 48 when she's saying 48 to feel like she's 12?
Why would the next step to bring down and say, okay, we can't learn it straight from before. You can't learn it straight from between. Let's learn from before, and we bring together. It's not a show. You know, we can live right now. It's not a show, man. The king used that wouldn't have been work because even though they have to check different frequencies, they can subtract from that. Whether it's a fraction of having to figure out the blow or burning on your back or taking less from that, both of those have connections to yourself, but my decision doesn't have a split connection to yourself, but just neutralize. Okay? And now, the question we had we talked about originally was we had to get Michelle had assumed or taken for granted that everybody was obvious that
Did you have sex with her again after having drinks at the crowbar?
you have to have a pacemaker. So
And again,
the
I'm
Michael
not quite sure that I got a direct answer there. Where exactly did you have sex with her? Okay. How many roommates do you have? My guess is 13. But you really do for her.
And the funds originally sanctified, does that condition now last? I don't know what it is. That's the condition so amazing. We say that once you look into the foot, you can this
2021 stereotypes no longer
reinvigorate that condition. So the other thing called her, that condition is going to kick us into the kitchen less about her. So therefore,
let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed a difference between having sex with a black woman and a white woman? What's different than having sex with a black woman?
I mean, one time I was just going to like
if the Kedusha is still intact, then
she was like swinging really, I thought that was my hair. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I thought that's why there's so many barbershop movies.
Why are you saying that before to not be rolled up for this nigga? If the Kedusha is like, if the Kedusha is so sick. Like, why are you only worried about my fertility when it's on this report? That
What do you have in your pockets? Anything exciting? I feel like you have
you have some Kedusha pants that you put on your face. And therefore, because the Kedusha is no longer there, we have a question. If the microphility doesn't use that Kedusha, and therefore because the Kedusha is not there anymore, we can't bring the microphility to us, maybe the microphility doesn't require the Kedusha heart of the Mizrah, and therefore this is still be wrong. That was a question. That's why we don't show you the video. I think before, now we keep wondering, why don't we ask the question? It shouldn't be obvious to us on the board. The question has the same question. That does before necessarily require the producer to be there, and therefore your producer knows the
Sweetie, please keep signing up for the show. We absolutely have to get you out of this one.
why don't we lose the producer one or another? La Marina says that all one can serve a kitchen is like a no kitchen. So that really means that the producer is no longer there. Right, so why is it obvious to them that before cannot be brought up, before everybody was obvious to not be brought up, would actually
Ladies and gentlemen, your final comedian of the night, another regular for everybody. David Luke